was doing. And yes, Fire Raven, it is in stereo now because I'm using OBS. Which is why I'm salty.
Anna, just for the sake of your channel, this is root beer. It's root beer.
Oh, all right, thanks.
Just saying.
Hey, you know what I can do? I can actually turn on green screen for you.
This is totally just Coke. 100% only Coke.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Sounds
Guys, because thank you for the reminder to set my stream to adult.
Yes.
Because I tend to forget that part. And it doesn't matter what you're all drinking.
We're adults?
No.
Inappropriate for younger audiences. Check.
A learning experience.
Save
This
change.
show builds character. Literally, in some cases.
Oh, goodness.
Might turn the brightness down. Right, are we ready to go live then?
We already are.
Here.
Okay, I was checking that we're ready to go live.
Blacker.
I actually had someone come into my stream and said, Avac, Geek Girlie's gone live, you lazy scallywag. I was like, dude, I'm like 30 seconds behind. Give me a break. My goodness.
For Christ's sake, now I can't remember the RGB for
Apparently,
Okay.
everyone else is super, super quiet.
Did I not put that in there?
Let me turn you all up.
Oh, that's how tired I am. I can't even remember chroma green.
Hey, there we go.
It's okay.
Just posting.
We forgive you. Being tired is not a crime.
Really? You sure?
I just, I don't want to be a downer, It's a sign of weakness, certainly, but not a crime. You shouldn't be allowed to be arrested for being tired, unless you're a pilot, in which case it's really bad.
It is kind of true, I'll give you that one. Right, I've got my ambient sounds up. And I've got my...
I don't hear any carts.
I haven't
I
played
know.
the ambient sounds, I've just got them up, ready.
Right.
The thing is, you're on a load of different carts right now, so it's just going to be carts all day and all night.
None of them are moving, though. And if I have my way, they're going to stay that way. If I have to take the wheels off them, I will.
What is that? It always reminds me, that tune always reminds me of something. But what it turns into. Like the beginning sounds like a game or a symphony that I've heard before, and it's like a certain note that it doesn't hit immediately following the intro of it, and my mind goes into the other song, and it always sounds weird to me. I have no idea. I need to figure out what the song is because it's going to bug me forever.
No idea.
What's going on with my...
What? No. Oh, poop.
What?
I
Nothing.
just like turned like completely invisible from like the teeth down. Just a second.
There is no poop, okay.
By the way, a couple of people in my chat are saying that EE and Anna sound, very clear, but Tulip's is a little bit quiet. Is it possible for you to
Yeah, you are a little bit
your
quiet if you can
volume?
turn yourself up.
I'm quiet?
Yeah, I know. Crazy. That's...
You're about 6 decibels quieter than everyone else, if not more.
Well,
Is-
that is odd.
EE being really specific.
I wonder what
I have voice meters that I can tell from Skype when you talk.
That's nice of you.
Let's go.
Very useful.
I'm getting a new mixer. Getting a new mixer.
You're getting a proper mixer, like I'm using a
Oh yeah.
software mixer.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Properties. Listen. Levels. How's that? Is that better? Let's do it that way. Is that better? Is that too much?
Oh god,
good.
someone's just pointed out in chat that there's only going to be one intro that's up to date.
Wait, which one is it using? Default.
That is well done. Well done.
I might just have to read
Might
the
want to
intro.
skip those for a bit.
Yeah. Once we have the the Melphis intro, we'll just skip ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. Malphas, party of one.
Oh
Am
goodness.
I louder or not now? I should
You
be
are-
loud,
You are better.
a bit louder, yeah.
but not enough.
No, actually, you're actually okay there.
Yeah.
Looking at the levels.
Okay, very good. Yeah, then I'll leave this alone before I break anything.
Yes.
Very good. Yes. So we're gonna draw straws. Who dies first?
No, no, we're gonna figure out who runs fastest. Here's a hint. It's me.
It most likely
You've
is.
got invisibility. You don't have to die.
We have tails. I have you know. We have better balance with our.
Yeah,
I've-
well, the advantage that
I've
you
also
guys
got-
have is that you are fire resistant.
Yeah,
That's true too. That's true too.
I burn.
she does. It's true.
With fire
Mind you,
resistance,
I've got to
you
be
can-
honest. When Tulips got bitten in the leg, that was like pretty nasty. That was like, yeah, that's an awful lot of damage being applied to you, even with hellish resistance. That's not gonna be a wound you're just gonna shrug off. It's like, ow, my leg.
Okay, ready to go live.
Bitten down to the
Yep.
bones.
Do it. I have
Just
3,
do it,
2.
etc.
1.
etc.
Hello, I'm Alfred Lizzie, and welcome back to Role4It. We're playing some D&D, and we have now 2 members of the party missing. Hence the reason for skipping some of the intro. I'm sorry, they're not quite up to date now. But yeah, we still have Geek Girly as Bree, we have Avak as Melfast, and we have Briarstone as Tulips. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you.
doing well.
Oh, great.
That was really convincing. You're so happy to be here. I can
We're
To
all
be-
gonna die.
to be
We're
fair-
all gonna die.
Yeah, we're a party of squishies.
Yeah. Currently.
It's literally a party of 3 squishies.
Wait, you were saying that we're all dire badges?
I'm sorry. I've already been doing my pre-show, so I've been talking about this for the last hour.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
Well, maybe.
I'm just saying, we only have to outrun the slowest member of the party, and as long as the
Yeah.
civilians are here,
Sorry, Tulips.
we've got quite a few slow members. Also, if someone does manage to get in front of me, I could shoot them in the leg.
Well, I'm thinking that we don't really have to outrun each other. We just need to outrun the poor citizens.
Yeah, that's
Well,
literally
literally
what Malphas is thinking at this point. It's like, this is now survival situation.
Mhm.
All right. So anyway,
Anyway, by the way, I've put some artwork in the hole for Aramel and Scarlet. They're by Tinmin on Twitter, tin_min. Amazing fan art, really good. But yeah, so we'll be playing some D&D today. What's everyone been up to in the meantime since last week, Anna?
I'm doing Space Week. Playing all space games all week. That's about it.
You playing Eve?
This week. What's that?
You playing Eve?
No. Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yes, Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen.
Oh.
No, I'm probably actually not going to hit Star Citizen this week. I'll do Kerbal Space Program, Elite Dangerous probably twice, and then this today doesn't really count. But
You doing any Space 4X games?
no,
You doing Kerbal Space Program?
yes, I
You
just
just said that. Oh my lord.
Sorry. I was reading chat.
And
Oh, how often do you
unfortunately,
tell
it
other
was
people off of
supposed to
that?
be a full week of space games, and then I ended up having to take Monday off. So it's like 3 days of space games. It's like, all right, so I'm gonna play Elite twice and Kerbal Space Program once. It's done. We're done. Done deal.
The games you played were space games, so that's
But
fine.
yeah, I do Space Week every once in a while, so I'll do another one relatively soon to make up for it.
Mass
I still won't
Effect.
play.
Mass Effect would be good for a Space week.
Havoc, have you been playing Mass Effect again?
I will be streaming it this Saturday, yes. Getting
Okay.
back to that.
What have you been up to?
Other than that, been doing a bit of a first taste on Mordheim, City of the Damned.
Oh, how is that? I was literally downloading it earlier, going to play it.
Really, really good. I'm playing the Skaven army, and just having a load of fun with that. It's very characterful, as quite a lot of Warhammer stuff is. It certainly lives up to the game it's based off. But that's probably coming to a close this week, so I'm looking for a new game to first taste. But other than that, just the regulars. So RimWorld, quite active on RimWorld, and Fallout 4 for me.
Okay, Brian?
Yeah, actually, this I guess starting tomorrow, actually, I'm going to be playing, well, it's going to be peppered Fallout 4, I think, this weekend, but mostly, since everybody's going to space, it seems kind of awkward. I'm going underground. I'm going to do some dungeon crawl things, dungeon crawl themed games, and I'm going to have some fun with that, I do suppose.
Multiplayer hack/loot games. Must happen. Torchlight 2.
Could even be maybe some Exile in there.
Ooh. Path of Exile. Very
Yeah.
nice. That's a good
Really
one.
good.
Okay. I have been fighting Google. I lost one of my accounts temporarily. So I don't have much going on for the last week. I've been non-recording. So I've got to record like later tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have something up. Hopefully I'm going to do a more time thing soon. But for the meantime, I haven't been doing all that much, sadly. Hopefully get back to normal. Anyway, we're going to dive straight in. First of all, just in case people don't know, yes, we have got no Aramel and Scarlet, and they have left us for various reasons, mostly to do with it being a lot of time, like 4 hours, in addition to having to do character stuff outside. So hopefully we'll be able to get a few replacements, particularly now the party's worried about being fairly squishy and not in the good Dire Badger kind of sense. Other than that, let's talk about a lovely charity. We're supporting Médecins, Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. Does anyone want to talk about them?
I did last week.
I have not prepared anything.
Anna, do you want to talk about them again, so it's not just me then?
Well, I can, but I'll have to look up the thing that I said last week.
Okay, you can do it at the break. I'll do it now. Doctors Without Borders basically are a lovely charitable organization who go around the world, places that have like really substandard medical care or have like conflicts going on or like disasters or whatever, and then just give out medical care for like free, which I'm sure is shocking to people in the United States. So basically they give out like
a bit harsh.
2 million plus consultations per year. They
Harsh,
go out.
but not incorrect.
They like if there's a disaster going on, places like Syria, they are operating or were operating a trauma center in the area, which was the only trauma center like in a vast area that could actually deal with actual like trauma, like bullet wounds and stuff like that. Like they crazy good organization. Only like less than 1% of the donations goes to like management and administration, which is crazy good. Really, really good organization. Absolutely love to support them. So we're supporting them at the moment. We've currently raised apparently $1,503, which is $50 up from our starting position already. So thank you. And yes, last week we did raise a lot of money for charity, and thus the entire party got a 1.5 times XP boost, which, considering the dire, like the Hellhounds, was like quite a lot of XP. Also, for completing quests, they got nearly 2,000 XP from the last session alone because of 1.5 times boost on top. So thank you very much. There is a loot poll still open. If you go check the Role4It Twitter, I will just have it up on one of my screens so that if you go and vote for it, that will be taken into account all the way up until when they actually get the loot. So if you want to go check the Role4It Twitter, there's some lovely loot in there that you can go vote for. But anyway, that will come later, and now we're just going to dive straight back in. You have just defeated some lovely hellhounds that kind of tried to burn you to bits. Bree is fairly badly hurt, and everyone else is standing around. Millions.
Burned.
I have some healing magic I can.
I'm not that badly burned, but I'm just quoting Austin Powers.
Right.
Yes,
Well, whilst my companions are kind of hobbling around, trying to recover, I'm gonna have I will step closer towards the wagon at this point, coming out of the darkness which is around the sort of the area to the side. I've still got an arrow knocked, and I just call out to the caravan guards, or the most, because there was one specific person in the caravan who seemed to be like the leader. I forget the description of that person, but he seemed to have a bit more presence and a bit more savvy about the situation. Wasn't just panicking all the time, was trying to take charge. I'd call out to him. Was that all of them? Is that all that's been attacking you?
I don't know. I think that's it for now, but they've been coming over in waves. I think it's different ones every time.
Different ones? How? Like
Different creatures, or
Well, it's mostly been hellhounds so far, but I don't know what's following us elsewise. I've seen lights in the dark, like torches being carried.
Oh, crap. Now we don't have a tracker anymore.
Mm-hmm.
okay. How many nights has it been?
2, maybe 3 since we set out.
Okay. Well,
Do you have any healers?
at that point, yeah,
I do have a question. Why get off the road?
we can deal with that in a moment. You know, and
He's-
Malphas looks towards Briolana. Do we have any healers? And just looks around the rest of them. Do you have any medical supplies? Looking back to the people of the caravan.
We have a few. I mean, he gestures you over to one of the caravans. And as he walks towards it, he starts talking to you and says, "We've had quite a few injured in the last few days, and we've tried our best to help them, but we don't have it like a dedicated cleric or anything."
Okay.
And I turn to Scarlet and say, "Can you get the horses?" She was as good as anyone.
I can do that. And she goes off.
Scarlet's become Welsh, my lord. Okay.
Gonna have to deal with the travel accent, guys. As you get to the wagon, you see that there are a number of people inside the wagon laying down. Some of them moaning, some of them hobbling about nearby, one of them missing a leg. It looks like a lot of people who've been through some stuff in the last 3 hours. Most of them are having some sort of burns.
Okay.
I will make some medical checks as I go through the area and see what I can do.
As Tulips is doing that,
Make a generic medical check, and I'll tell you information based on that.
Oh, okay.
how damaged do Malphas' companions seem? Because he's going to be more concerned about Bree, Scarlet, and Tulips than anyone else at this point.
At the moment, I think it's just Bree, and she looks pretty badly burned.
Oh, really? I thought Tulips took a whack of damage from a bite at some point.
I did take some damage. Also, I healed
Okay.
myself.
Oh, are you looking pretty much good as new, or more or less fine?
I'm taking some damage, but it's nothing
Okay.
major.
Okay, so it's just Bree that we're concerned about then.
That's a 13 with
Plus 8?
Yeah, so 21 total.
a plus 8?
What were you rolling?
My medicine.
How is it plus 8?
Well, first of all, I have +4 in my medicine, and my expertise is in medicine, so the value of that is doubled. So it's +8.
You have expertise as well? Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Briar the healer.
Well
That's
done.
over 21.
That's me. That's what I'm doing.
Go to work.
How-
You notice that quite a few have particularly bad burns, some of them going through the skin, sort of to the muscle fibers themselves. You do what you can. You see a number of people who have bite wounds as well, some of them puncture marks. A few of them beginning a little bit diseased and gangrenous in some places. You see what you can do, and you pull out a dagger and you start chipping away at some tissue. It's going to take you a little while to really do much for them, but you do recognize that you're probably now the best healer.
Just to confirm something, Briar, when you said you got a +4 on your medicine, is that +2 from proficiency and then +2 from wisdom?
Yes.
Then you've only got +6 because your expertise only doubles your proficiency bonus, not the added stat bonus that you get.
Well, that's good to know. So it'd be okay. So it's
Okay,
plus
19.
4 plus. Okay, so it's 19 instead.
Yeah. Okay, so with 19, you can treat nearly all of them, but not quite some of them. There are some of them who have some minor infections that you can't really deal with that much. You don't have exactly the supplies that you can still deal with, like most of the people now. There may be 1 or 2 you can't.
Okay.
So you have to work. It's going to take you about an hour, but you can still be in hearing shot of the conversation, talking the conversation.
Okay. Very good.
Right, well, can we assume that Tulips is also treating Bree's wounds as best he can?
I could be. Yeah, absolutely.
I could
mean,
be. I mean, I don't know.
It depends on if
Maybe.
she's gonna take some time, and because I can totally do that. Yeah, look after you.
Yeah. I don't know if you can heal under a medicine check. I think we can let it happen. You can do a medicine check if you want right now for Bree's wounds.
I'll do that. Yeah. See what I can do. So +6, not 8. Bam.
Roll a 20.
18.
Not too bad. I mean, I don't know how medicine works, honestly. If there's a med kit or anything like that, then can
Problem is the med kit
traditional
is
sort of
just
stuff.
stabilizing people. There isn't any actually healing to do with actually getting hit points,
right.
as far as I'm aware.
Okay. That was my
But I
lack
will
of knowledge.
minor hit point gain from it. So I'm going to allow you to have 2 extra HP.
Yay!
That's something.
Note that you do not use any medicine to heal these wounds again, other than by magical healing.
That's
So
like
basically-
half my hit points.
Tulip basically goes up. He notices that you're pretty badly wounded, and he just sort of water over the burns just to cool them down, to drag out any like bits of like grit that have got in there, and then he binds them with some sort of plant leaf that's waxy and won't allow stuff to get in.
I am at exactly half hit points.
Hooray!
I can heal you the rest of the way via herbal magic.
Are
What?
you trying to get me high? Herbal magic. No,
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
want.
I need 9 more points. Like,
Yeah,
at some
I'll do
point.
it then. Got casting.
So you said there are many more to the camp leader.
That's what we suspect. I mean, they've been chasing us for the last 2 or 3 days. It wasn't just 3 of them. When we got to the road where we went off track down one of the minor roads nearby, as your friend mentioned, that's where they came at us from both sides, and we had to go to the right. We saw some of them up ahead, and we quickly veered off.
That roll, by the way, Briar, would have fully healed it even without the medicine roll.
Yeah.
So we can just say that you just had a look at the wounds and like, yeah, those are bad. Boom, and they're all gone. It's like,
It's
don't
good.
worry about me, guys.
Well, you
I'm
started
awesome.
to bind it, and then she was like, "Ow, that I'm still not." And you-
That bone is not
Okay.
meant to be on the outside.
It's like, here, chew on this.
So as he's or before he's doing the healing, when she hears there's more, she says, "All right then," and she starts stripping off her studded leather armor,
Okay.
So for running.
and then gets her healing, and then casts mage armor on herself,
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so Bree is now.
effectively improving her AC with a net gain of 1 point to 19.
But that is quite possibly necessary at this point.
Bree is suddenly encompassed by a slight shimmering field that then sort of dissipates, and you can see, like, if you catch her at the right angle, that there's maybe a slight shimmer there of force.
How long does mage
But-
armor last for?
8 hours.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Right. Whilst Bree is doing that, Malphas would continue talking with the sort of the wagon master. Is there any frequency, any pattern to how they attack? Is it at
Constant.
night, at day?
Every few hours. Mostly at night, but every few hours, even in the day.
Okay.
I mean, you're obviously capable. And I've had to dump a lot of my wares, and we've picked up quite a few stragglers, and he gestures to the sort of the 25 civilians who are just sort of milling about or laying down, groaning in the injured wagon where Tulips is currently tending to them. But I still have enough coin in myself that, if you're willing to defend us, I will pay you substantially. And he looks over towards one of the guards who is currently dead.
Yeah. Malphas will look quite dubious about this and will be blunt and say, look, it isn't that I don't want to help you, but this is a lot to ask of us. We only got out of that scrape probably by luck more than judgment. How many people here actually have any sort of combat training? And he gestures around to the rest of the group.
A few of them, I don't honestly know. I mean, if you want to ask around, you're more than willing. We've been a bit too busy in the last few days running for our lives.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to interject. If it was possible to do a survival check in terms of if there's going to be more combat, is there a way that we can array the wagons, the horses, as a buffering, just to give ourselves an advantage over the battlefield? If I could.
Yeah,
Probably wouldn't be that'd probably be intelligence, sort of intelligence.
I wouldn't say it was survival. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be survival. It'd be intelligence.
Intelligence, just a straight intelligence roll?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that particularly relates to it. I mean, vaguely, maybe history, like what you've learned from past battles or something, but
That'll give me a +2, as opposed to...
have a history roll then.
Okay.
I was going to say history maybe for us, because it's more of a historical thing. For our characters, this is kind of what they do right now.
Whoa!
Whoa! Never mind, don't need it.
Let's handle it.
Tulip's the tactician medic, my lord.
You know that in several battles, like, in fact, during the expansion of the Larian Empire, there were a couple of battles where survivors were trying to escape from the approaching army. And that sometimes when they were forced to fight, they would basically circle the wagons, use them as cover, and then basically form a block of infantry in the center around the edges. And they would then use archers, and when people approached, they'd be able to use spears to sort of jab them back as people tried to climb over the carts towards them. However, you think in your current situation, the fact that you're currently being chased down, and that they have what appears to be a superior force, and you've got a lot of civilians that you don't really think you could actually hold a fight. At least, you know, maybe a constant chasing fight, but you don't think if you stopped, you'd really have the advantage because you just don't have the quality troops able to defend a circled wagon fort.
Or the number of wagons required to make a circle wagon fort. But at this point, whilst Tulips is deliberating over this and you know thinking back to the books he may have read, I'm going to go ahead with the suggestion, and I'm just going to turn and walk over to where the largest group of the civilians are kind of mingling and just call out across them. Does anyone here have any experience with weapons? Any training in a militia, a guard, or you're just handy with a sword?
Have them look at each other. Make a... There isn't such thing as leadership, is there? Just make a general charisma check.
Okay. So that would be +3. Oh, it was almost 18, so it was 8. I hate those
like
dice.
And then it bounced, yeah. A lot of them just look a little bit dubious. The guard nearby, the one who survived, who's a little bit out of breath and just looking very shaken, looks at you and says, I've defended caravans all my life.
At that point, Malfoy's just going to turn around and say, well, looks like you're probably going to defend them for the rest of your life, however long that may be.
Oh, all right.
He goes noticeably more pale. Behind you, someone sort of starts moving towards you. You turn around and you notice this fairly old man hobbling towards you, sort of limping on one side, going, I thought in several of the wars so far, I'll be happy to join you. Strange red person.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Indeed you do.
I size him up. Does he seem in any way strong?
Make what's it called? A
Insight?
Insight
Yeah.
check, probably, yeah. Make it good. That's
12,
not bad.
which is
12.
12.
Oh, okay.
He looks like maybe at one point he was, but he's kind of old now, and a lot of his strength seems to have sort of disappeared. He's kind of thin. Obviously, has been a bit, poor, and his physique hasn't really got the nutrition it requires to not start dissolved.
Taking a once over of the guy, Malphus would just ask, are you any good with a crossbow?
I can be. Do you have one?
I wouldn't be asking if I didn't.
Well, give me a crossbow and I'll stand next to you.
Okay. Back at the horses. I'll once our companion returns with them, I'll take them off, and you can have that. I've also got some leather armor. If you're going to be standing with us, you may as well have some.
There's
chance of
also
surviving.
gear on him. And I nod to the dead guy.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, didn't do him any good, but yeah, sure.
Very well. And he sort of hobbles over in the direction of the dead guy.
And Now, I believe I heard when we arrived, one of your wagon wheels is broken. Can I have a look at it?
Well, I mean, if you want to look at it, sure, be my guest. I think we've just about got it back on. And you turn around, you look over in the direction of a dwarf who has a tiny little chisel, and he's working on the wheel, and he's just kicking it a bit now. And he looks around and goes, it seems to be done. I think we can move out. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's, everyone, back on the horses and the wagons. Everyone starts to mount up, and the merchant looks at you and says, I'm Iridia. Master Iridia. Good to meet you all.
Just to confirm, because there was a little bit of distortion online there. Was it Master Iridia, you said?
Master Iridia, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Master Iridia. I would like to do another history check to see if, because he's an older gentleman, right? And if he's a warrior,
Iridia looks like he's maybe 40, maybe 42, human, sort of brownie, sort of maybe light brown hair, just longer than short, just shorter than medium length, somewhere about there, with piercing green eyes. Looks kind of friendly, wearing what you'd imagine to be sort of good quality traveling wear. Not really merchant garb as such, but it's a bit more practical.
Okay, I'm confused then. Who's the older gentleman?
The old guy. One of the civilians.
Oh, he's just a civilian. Okay, because he didn't have a name. Because if he had a name,
he does a name if you want to ask him his name, but he's just headed off. No one asked him his name.
No one gave him his name ever. He's just like, I've fought in wars. I'm nameless. I'm soldier number 3.
I will introduce myself. I'll introduce myself there.
Hello, devil man.
I thought Melfast looks halfway between annoyed and amused.
We've heard worse, so it's fine.
Briolana just looks amused.
He doesn't seem to be like particularly like trying to offend you, or like he's just casually racist.
Yeah.
Casual.
Like so many old people are. He doesn't mean it. He just is.
He was brought up in a different time.
Wow.
Brought up in a different time.
Okay.
So, turning to the leader again, do you have any idea why they're following you? Why they are after your caravan? And I'm watching.
Whilst Briolana's asking that, and whilst everyone's kind of getting onto the caravan, there's a bit of commotion. Malfast is going to kind of move around, and under the guise of helping the most infirm or the wounded up, he is going to be having a look at the wagons and generally at their stock. He's taking stock of what they're carrying.
Most of them are now carrying people. There is actually very little stock left on the wagon.
Very little of any worth. Okay.
If you look around, you notice that 2 of the wagons are the same type of wagon that you saw at the crossroad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the one at the far back is a slightly different design, a little bit smaller, a little bit more of sort of a small person wagon rather than a proper trade caravan wagon.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Just out of...
And he says...
Yeah. Sorry.
To your ask about the... He just sort of... Sorry, I said, but I think it must have got cut off. He shrugs and he just sort of says... Shakes his head, says, I have no idea. And he looks very tired as he says that. Like, that is something that has been really he just doesn't know. He's just given up asking to himself.
Where were you all headed?
And what's your cargo?
Our cargo was materials and ale from the Hobbit region. We were going to Therum.
To Therum? Where's
The
that
dwarves like some of the Hobbit ales, so it tends to be a particularly good trade route. Normally on the way back, when we take produce from the dwarves themselves, dwarven craftsmanship is pretty good. Trading that is worth a pretty penny. But we dumped most of the cargo when we were attacked to take on civilians.
So everyone here is headed to Theron? You said you were taking on civilians. Were they just wandering along the side of the road, or...?
Well, about 12 to 16 of them maybe were traveling with us at the time. Normally they like the ability to travel with a trade convoy. It allows them just to have some security. We've got guards with us and so on. But we picked up another 10 or so who were just nearby and going down the road when we were attacked and we met them. Unfortunately for you, as soon as people meet us, they kind of have to stick with us or they get chased down as well.
Oh, we have our own
out of
horses.
character, I said this before the live stream. I am totally fine with surrounding myself with red shirts. It's a brilliant idea. There's 3 of us, and there's several people for buffering. We could call that armor.
Well, Malphas is as I mentioned as well, is like, yeah, well, Malphas considers the people in his party, his family, and everyone else as people. He doesn't consider them as complete, just objects to be cast aside. But when the chips are down, he knows where his priorities lie. But yeah, that's out of character. Just as a heads up, if anyone's going to find that really offensive, it's going to be survival. He'll let like 20 civilians die before he'll let Bree die, for example. But he'd let like 400 civilians die before he'd let Tulips die. But okay, so with that said, well, how many days out are we from Theron at the pace that these carts can go? And how rested are the horses? Like at this point, Malphas is actually looking at the horses, which he hasn't done up to now, and I'm kind of expecting to see them spooked out of their brains.
Been overpushed. They look like they've been pushed to the limit of, if you push them any further, they will start to wear out. But it looks like someone who is fully aware of the horse's capabilities and has traveled with wagons before has been keeping it at a pace that they can sustain.
And how do they look in terms of their health and their well-being? Because, horses are easily spooked animals.
They look... There's a little bit of kicking and neighing, but not too much.
Okay.
They've been well-trained.
Okay.
They're reasonable horses, nothing crazy fancy like Destriers or anything, but they've been well-trained and looked after, so they're not currently crazy spooked, but hellhounds do have a little bit of a way of scaring them a little bit, so they are certainly not calm.
Okay. Right, well, I imagine that Scarlet would be back now with the horses.
You can see Scarlet slowly coming through the line.
Well, as soon as she gets here, first thing Malphas is going to do, he's just going to grab one of the leather armors that he had. They used, but and the crossbow and 6 bolts, and he's just going to give it to that civilian. He doesn't particularly care, about
Thank you.
And
so he hugs at the crossbow, and then puts it on the floor, puts a foot against it, manages to pull the string back.
Right, and at that point, having given this guy some arms and armor, he calls out once again and says, "Look, I'm not asking for anything back. I'm just trying to save your lives here. If anyone can handle a sword, I have a suit of armor and a scimitar or a rapier here. They're yours. I don't need anything back from it. If you are better in a fight, it increases my odds of survival as well."
And we're told there's pay.
Malphas doesn't mention that bit. And when Bria does, he kind of goes...
They're not going to risk their lives for nothing.
I'm going to come up with an inspiration.
Not if they think there's a chance we'll protect them.
Malphas, make a perception check.
Perception, okay.
And Bree also takes her old rapier out and sticks it in, as she's saying all this, she goes over and sticks it in the ground.
That's an 18 plus 0, so 18 in
challenge
total.
For somebody to take it.
Okay. Melthas, you notice that as Bree is sticking the rapier on the ground,
the old one, not the good one.
You notice on the back cart, the rearmost of the 3, the one that's a little bit lighter, it looks like a smaller, sort of less merchant cart. You notice that there's 2 people currently on the front step of it, and one of them is a very large guy. He looks almost Goliath proportions. You don't know if he is a Goliath or not. It looks more like he's human, you'd guess, although he is, fairly sort of old-shaven, etc. And he turns to his companion sort of hood half covering her, but she's obviously female and human by the look of it, nods at him. He gets up very carefully sort of moving his limbs and unspooling his body from sort of position he was in.
Yes, he's a big lad on a small cart. We understand.
Yeah. Plunks legs down. You almost feel like you can sort of feel the vibrations in the earth when he does that.
Okay.
But you're pretty sure it's psychological. But nonetheless, it does hit you. He walks over to you, looks down at you, looks at the guy you're trying to proffer.
How tall is he?
He's about 2 foot something. Probably about 2'4".
He's 2'4" and he's looking down at me.
You're 2 foot, right? Well, less than 2 foot. Sorry, not 2'4". Sorry, I was mixing my imperial and metric. I meant 2 meters. But then I went 4 inches. So no, not 2'4", like 6'4".
Okay. Malphas is 185 centimeters. But yeah, he's looking down slightly. But yeah, sure. So he's got a club. Is he wearing armor?
Yeah. He's wearing sort of thick leathers.
Actually, don't bother answering because this armor was gotten off a hobbit, so it wouldn't matter anyway. So
he's sort of holding this tiny little jerkin.
It's fine. It's like, righto. I take it you know how to use that. It's more or less a rhetorical question, and he's more looking back at the cart now from whence this giant of a man came from.
Seeing your look, you notice this lady take a deep sigh. She gets up, gracefully plants her feet on the ground and walks over to you, pulls her hood back, and unveils some sort of just longer than shoulder length sort of black hair with sort of almost violet eyes. And you are suddenly struck by the fact that she is incredibly beautiful. You're not exactly sure why, just generally that she's just, like, all of her features just work for her.
Okay.
And she says, "Can I help?"
That's for you to say, not me. We need people who can fight. I'm assuming, and he looks up at the giant guy that is like, that you can. And if you're traveling together,
nods.
It's reasonable to assume that you both can. Or at least that seems to be the way that it works with the people that I travel with.
Okay. She nods. She pulls out some sort of boomstick, pistol-type device, and quickly flicks around, aims down the sights at the rapier that Bree has placed in the ground, and quickly fires off 3 shots from the 6-barreled device, each one landing perfectly in the middle of the guard, denting it.
Okay.
Nice.
Of course it will. I won't ask why you weren't using those clearly well-honed skills when there were 3 giant fire-breathing dogs trying to eat everyone. But if you're willing to use them now... He glances over at Bree, kind of frowns a little bit, and then mentions, one of my friends was almost turned into a meal, a cooked meal. I'm not sure that I'm as convinced that we had it under control. We may have come out of it alive, but regardless, as I said, I'm not going to ask why you didn't help. If you're willing to help now, that's good enough. My name's Malphas. This is Briolana. That is Tulips.
Tulip sort of waves from having his arms sort of deep inside someone's abdominal cavity.
Oh man, I thought you were going to say something else then. It's like, wow, okay. For some reason, my mind went to the horses.
Time, Tulips.
I know. Dude. Can't take him anywhere. Look.
It was a medicinal check.
She's not pregnant. Stop.
the lady shrugs again and says, I'm Sarah. This is Ola. Ugh.
And what do you call that device?
Crystal?
Yay, now we can stop calling them freaking boomsticks.
To be fair,
Whoa, he
Pistol
knows the
is-
name of it.
so it's a pistol type. You don't know what it would be as a classification, but it's definitely a pistol type.
Well, now we can just call them all pistols.
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Which I hope tweaks any semblance of OCD that you have.
So what do you call the long one that Melphis has?
A big pistol.
Penis.
A what?
Ow.
Excuse me? I'm gonna make a medicinal check.
Whoa, now. Seriously, it's not the time. God damn, man. Okay,
Tulips.
so...
Yes.
No, please
Finishing
don't make him roll.
what you're doing, you managed to assess that at least a couple of them probably won't survive more than maybe 2 days, unless they get sort of decent medical attention. They have
Well-
pretty wounds.
How
They
far?
can't go off by themselves because apparently anybody that splits off gets hunted down, you just said earlier.
Can I make a knowledge nature check to see if there's any
Sure.
anything around that could both ease but also speed up their passing?
Oh.
Sure.
Euthanasia. Fair enough.
Well, in fact, there's a pistol nearby. You sure that could ease their passing?
Use a valuable ammunition,
A
they're
little,
not
less,
worth it.
little less messy and a little bit more fun would be the way to go. I don't pass out in sort of like rainbows and unicorns as opposed to an explosion through the face. Yeah, so I have a
Such a
plus
kind,
5.
caring soul.
Oh,
You are the best of all of us. You truly are.
Let's see, nature. Come on, give me something good, please. There's got to be something roots, something around here. 17.
Death tongue mushrooms would do the trick.
You're aware that there's maybe a couple of herbs nearby that maybe could be used as anesthetic, which would help a little bit, but you have been using them already as part of your medicine. There's nothing that could really help too much, and in terms of easing their passing, you think a well-placed dagger would do just as well.
Does Tulips communicate that there are? Has he told the rest of the group? It's look, these people are really, really not well. They're not going to last very long. Is that something that Tulips would let everyone else know, or would it be up front?
Because I am not like a registered medic here with these groups of people, I will definitely say, because nobody's going to just believe what I say if I don't.
No, I'm not a
Stop.
doctor, but
Yeah, but these people are in pain. They're suffering. They're going to pass anyway in the next couple of days. We know.
How far out are we? How far out are we from Theron? How far out are we from Theron? Malthus asks towards the wagon master.
Master Radio looks at you and says, by wagon, probably about 3 days.
Tulips.
and we're
Assuming-
2 days out from the town we came from.
About
Sure.
that.
Assuming that you had ample rest and time to recuperate, would you be able to keep these people alive using your magic?
Actually, I have to defer to the DM. I mean, because I do have healing spells that I could.
Yeah, but the problem is they also seem to have some sort of underlying infection now in their wounds because they haven't been treated for a little while.
So
Like
it'd be
a
more of a
corruption or something.
disease, okay.
Not do infections.
Right, okay.
So effectively, they'd be constantly brought down to 0 HP. You'd have to stabilize them, and then they'd be brought down to 0 HP eventually, and you'd have to stabilize them. So you'd constantly be fighting an infection. Effectively, it would be a very hard battle for you to win. You'd basically be hoping that they get over it whilst permanently stabilized.
I will whisper to Melfast then the condition, and my choice would be to let them go faster now because there's going to be
Okay.
resources expended, and it's going to slow us down, and more people could get
Okay.
injured.
At which point, Scarlet chimes in and says, well, what if we take them to... What if I take Therum? We've got 3 horses. I mean, you said that there were 2 of them who might not make it. I mean, if I strap them to the horses and then we go to full gallop, it's only 3 days by wagon. That's got to be a lot faster if we go to full pace gallop.
As much as Tulips doesn't like the idea of sending Scarlet alone, he does prefer this a lot more than having to more or less kill innocent civilians.
Okay. Malphas is going to voice his concern at this, though. We've just been told that pretty much no one can break off from the caravan without at risk of being attacked. Now, maybe you'd be able to put enough distance between you and the caravan, and certainly if these things are hunting the caravan, whatever they may be, then they might not care to go after 3 horses and 3 people. They certainly didn't care to chomp on the horses when they were nearer them than the rest of us, but I mean, you would be taking a huge risk with this, Scarlet.
She nods. She looks down at Squishy and says, I'm sure Squishy can look after me.
She's now Irish.
Well, the problem is people in chat are telling me that my accent is... I was just generic female because they were like, that's not good enough. So I was like, oh, damn it. I mean, if I'm meant to be Scottish, then the problem is I have to use this accent and it just doesn't sound female whatsoever. So that's a problem.
Oh, that's fantastic. But
Malphas
Malphas is basically going to nod at what she says. That, well, it's your choice. I'm not going to stop you from doing this. It seems like the only chance they've got. But
by the way, during all this time, I'm looking at whatever crates might be stacked on the various wagons. I'm looking for the emblem.
Sure. You notice eventually while looking, doesn't take you long to find out, they're kind of wanting to display at least somewhat prominently to, make sure that these are ours, not yours. It's an emblem you don't recognize. There are a couple of stamps there, including a few.
The emblem.
Oh, the emblem. That is not on there.
Just making sure. Checking everyone while they're having this conversation.
Okay.
Sorry. Carry on.
With, Malphas, just to recap, is basically saying, well, I'll go along with it because that is literally the only chance that these people have. And I couldn't stop you even if you wanted to. And then back to the sort of present tense. But if we've got anything that we can give you to make sure that you get there in one piece, anything we can use to speed you on your way, at that point he looks towards Tulips and to Briolana.
I already looked. I got nothing. I even looked at my spells. I got nothing to help her with.
I don't think there is. Honestly, I'm the only one who can do this because I can heal them as we go. If they start to fade, I can try and keep them alive.
Okay.
If she can move fast enough, she's got a chance. Hopefully these things won't come down on an entire town. And if she warns the guards as soon as she gets there.
Yeah.
It's all of these people's best shot. But, admittedly, it puts her at the most risk. It's her decision.
Okay. Looking to Tulips. Is that all Malphas gets there?
Who's getting distracted again by something?
Yeah.
No, I'm typing out a new bardic inspiration. But anyway, yes.
To be fair, it's completely in character that. He's just constantly distracted by the fact he's always making songs.
I was composing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is actually glorious.
I got new things I'm writing.
Okay.
But yes, everything what I gathered, I am in total agreement with. Everything's fine.
Okay. Right. Well, at that point, Malphas looks to the Bagmaster, looks to the two most direly wounded passengers, and says, well, ultimately the decision is down to you guys. Our gnome here will take you ahead. You've got possibly a better chance of surviving this way, but you're going to have to put your faith in us.
Well, go ahead, do it. I mean, we don't have a chance if they stay here.
Right. Looking at the injured ones, how are they? Because ultimately, it is actually their choice specifically. Are they in agreement? Are they in sort of like a state to agree to anything? Like how badly wounded are they?
The two wounded people that you're talking about are sort of in and out of consciousness a lot. Okay. They aren't really in any state to really fully comprehend the entire conversation as it stands. They're sort of very vaguely with it, sort of in a fevered state right now.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll need some help. Getting them up onto the horses. We'll probably have to strap them on. Because with the looks of them, they're not going to remain aware enough to keep their balance.
The entire convoy sort of gradually gets to a halt again, and you quickly strap them on. You haven't really gone more than 100 meters from where you started right now. You strap them on. It takes maybe about 10 minutes to properly lash them on, but after a time, you feel that you've got them on securely enough.
Okay.
Throughout all of this, can I have gotten a short rest?
No, you need an hour, and you would also need to be...
half an hour. And you just said that tying them on takes 10 minutes. So there's 10 right there.
It's an hour, isn't it? It's an hour.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's an hour and 8 for the long rest. By default, you can change that.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're ready to go.
Okay.
Scarlet turns to you, and she hugs each of you in turn.
Before she leaves, like when she's giving Malphas a hug, he just presses something into her hand and says, "I want this back, so stay safe." It's a ring on a necklace. Very important to me.
Wow.
She nods and says, I've got something for you then. And she goes over to Squishy, grabs the pendant.
Oh, yeah.
Squishy's neck, and hands it to you.
Okay. So that's what was it called again?
It's nothing for you because it's a pendant that allows her to tell where that bit is.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's a bit that allows her to locate you at any time.
What is it called? Just so I can put it in the inventory.
I guess it would be the sending end of the pendant of locating. It's constantly sending your position to her then.
Okay. Very well. Done.
And she says, well, if I find Aramil, I'll send him on the way to you. And maybe even Wolfslayer.
Fair enough. Okay. Right, well, that's it.
Okay, she saddles up, Squishy beside her. Her eyes welling up a little bit of tears, but she's too hardy to really cry or anything. But she feels bad about leaving you in this situation.
I'll play my drums to kind of like ease the sadness.
Okay.
Okay.
A soothing drum melody.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not sure if percussion is actually good for that, but
well, there's
we're being chased by evil hounds of hell. Would you mind keeping that down?
Oh. Then I just do sweeps and pops off the side.
And then Scarlet gallops off with the reins to the other two horses in her hand and sets off cross trail to begin with, and then her plans to double back down the path.
Okay, well, then we're with the caravan and we're moving along.
Right.
Malphas.
So the caravan gets back up to effectively a walking pace. It's not particularly fast walking pace, but it's a walking pace that they would be able to carry, the 25 people. Effectively, people are taking turns to sleep in the caravans.
Okay. Well, whilst we're just generally walking then, Malphas is going to just walk out away from the caravan a bit. Just a little bit, to ahead, because it's still dark at the moment, I imagine. So, obviously he's got dark vision, so it's going to be useful for him to be able to see what's coming, and generally just, being a bit of a scout. Not far away from the wagon at all, but probably about, I'm terrible with Imperial, about 60, 80 feet or something like that ahead, just generally trying to keep close enough that he could call out at any time, but also keeping an eye ahead.
Sure.
Further
So how
away
far
from the
roughly
lights.
ahead are you?
About 60, 80 feet, something like that.
Your dark vision is 60 feet, so
He doesn't need to be able to see the wagon, because the wagons, obviously, they've got torches and stuff. And also, they're making a huge amount of noise. A wagon is not quiet.
no. And especially as you continue up this trail, you notice that it gets a little bit more dilapidated the further you go on.
Okay.
The mountains are getting slightly bigger in front of you as time goes by. And this happens for a few hours.
Short rest.
You have a short rest, yes.
Oh. Song of rest then.
Unfortunately, no. Short song of rest is only long rest, isn't it?
Nope, short.
Okay.
I get
an
two spell levels back from a short rest, which is enough to get back half of my spells that I've used. So
Malthus doesn't get a
it's
short rest. He's scouting.
No. Yeah.
At which point, I need you all to make perception rolls.
Perception rolls. All right.
Someone points out the wagons are not quiet. The loop recording that I play in cities shows us that.
Sorry, that's temporary hit point roll, and now I'm doing my perception. Oh, okay.
Almost a 20.
It looks more like a 20, in fact. I think it was
I've got a
20.
10.
rolled a 10 plus 2 is 12, so just a 12.
Okay. So all of you hear howling in the distance, getting closer, closing in on the carts. And to cut a long story short, you prepare yourself, you head to the back, and then you notice these lights just out of bow reach sort of stop. Almost like they're staring at you, and then disappear off again.
Oh, good.
Circling around.
Well, now hang on, because just out of bow reach might not be out of spell reach.
What is bow reach for a longbow? Like 600 feet?
I don't know.
How's that 600 feet?
I don't know. I'm just looking up
pretty
magic
long.
missile.
I think magic missile's like...
It's
no,
fine. I'm just messing
Yeah.
with you. Mostly.
I was like, yeah, sure.
Because I would assume that you mean just out of range of anything.
Of everything, yeah.
Yeah. But if you do have a spell that's short, more than longbow range, you can sure fire it off if you want.
No, magic missile is only 120 feet. I might
Yeah,
have
I've done
something,
the impression
but
that
it's
magic
not
tends to
worth-
be a fairly close range in terms of compared to longbows.
It's not worth using a spell slot on one thing that's too far away for us to get before it would get away anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But this is something that repeats over the course of the next day and a half. You manage to get short rests, you manage to rotate people around into sentry duty.
Okay.
But anytime you try and get any full amount of sleep, there's constantly attacks on the caravan. If not attacks, then testing of your defenses.
Just
probing.
harrying us.
Yeah, they're constantly harrying you. You can have short rests, but you cannot get a long rest in because you only get maybe about 4 hours, maximum 5 hours before another attack takes place.
What are the resources right now for the caravan? Like in terms of, I don't know, just random things. Bandages, oil.
Medical supplies, they don't really have much. Mostly it's just scraps of cloth, etc. Because it was a trade caravan. It wasn't meant to look after 25 civilians. In terms of like oil and stuff, there's a little bit of lamp oil on the caravan because dwarves don't tend to use lamp oil, don't tend to get lamp oil from whales, etc. They tend to get it from underground, etc. And for some purposes, whale oil, etc. is better and more, valuable commodity for people who live in a mountain. So it's more of a luxury. So there is some whale oil on board the caravans, but not much, considering a lot of the stuff had to be thrown out. So there's maybe a couple of jugs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking of stuff.
Okay. So a day and a half goes by. In that time, do you want to chat to anyone in particular? Evaluate anything?
Well, I'm assuming that Malphas is not always going to be at the head, and certainly in the day he's going to draw back towards the caravan. He's only really gonna move away from it and try to move out to the front at night, where he has certain advantages. When he's close to the caravan, he was probably going to focus his attention on the enormous fellow and the woman with the pistols. He'll... I forget her name. Was it Sarah? Did she say?
Sarah Nola.
Sarah. Speaking to Sarah at some point, he says, those machines, those weapons you have, I hope you don't mind me asking, but where did you come by them? I only ask because I've not seen them before recently, but I've seen a lot of them since they started showing up, and he will actually show that he has some of them.
She looks at you sort of a little bit shrewdly and looks at the things you've got in your hand. I bought them. I'm sorry, I bought it. She only has one, sorry. Okay. She only has one pistol, but it is a multi-barrel pistol. Okay.
May I ask where? I only ask is these I found or bought as more curiosities from blacksmiths who didn't really have any use for them, just picked them up from travelers. So I'm wondering where I might find out more about them. I've looked into them a little, but there's only so much you can learn when just poking around with something dangerous before you blow your hands off.
If we get out of this, I'll happily tell you, but for now I think we've got more pressing things on our mind.
Fair enough. At that, he just kind of moves away again.
Okay.
I want a hunter's marker. I can't, but I want to.
Bree looks at Sarah and just eyes narrowed, and she wants to try and cast something, but she's not sure the exact.
I'm watching you.
Okay. Sure. Anyone else want to do anything in the next few days?
At a certain point, like, I need a long rest. Oh, hey, my internet's dropping out again. Yay.
No,
it's fun.
At some point, I need a long rest. Like, have to have a long rest, or I'm useless. Like, flat out useless. Can't do anything. So at a certain point, I have to excuse myself from a combat and get a long rest.
What I could do...
Can't blade song, can't do spells, can't do anything.
Next one updates, you want to, like, take a dedicated short rest and just not go to a combat. So if the combat starts, you just...
Long rest. I can't... Short rest isn't enough. I can't do blade song without a long rest, and you can only recoup spells once on a short rest.
Long rest, I think.
2 blade songs, and I've already done 1.
Okay.
And if we're constantly getting into combat, that means that I've probably already used the second one.
Well, no, it's effectively every time a combat sort of starts, as soon as you respond to it, the combat peels off. Anytime a combat approaches that you notice, they peel off or stay outside of range as you respond.
It's effectively guerrilla tactics, harrying. You're forcing your opponent not to actually engage you, but to constantly be on alert so that they get worn down.
They've now noticed that more people have joined the convoy who are capable, and they are testing your defenses.
At this, though, I mean, Malphaz is going to know that that isn't the activity of even relatively smart animals. I mean, wolves will push you, they'll harry you a bit, but this is like actual tactics at this point.
No, they're acting under orders.
This is intelligence.
Yeah. So if Bree mentions that, Malphaz will say, do you know these creatures? Is there any reason that you'd suspect that other than what I've, what we're observing here? Is there anything else you might know?
Unfortunately not, just basing it on what you've just said.
Right. I was hoping that perhaps you...
This is tactics.
Yeah.
This is actively planned. They're not even trying to pick us off if one of us strays. They are purely trying to harry us.
At that point, you'd be like, well, I was hoping maybe you might have learned something about those hounds, at least perhaps in your studies. You may have come across them, or anything about them. I don't know much about them. Heard, honestly, what I saw earlier fits with a couple of folk tales, but that's about it. And we're not getting much information from the rest of the caravan.
Well, can I do an Arcana or something?
Sure, make an Arcana check.
All right, and it turns out I have been corrected. Right before the session, I read the rules on regaining the blade song, and
It's a
I
short rest,
read
isn't
it long rest. It's short or long. I
Awesome.
checked. I checked right before the session.
It's your character. Yeah, you get them back on short rest.
Awesome.
Right. So, Arcana.
Yeah, go for it.
Nope.
Crit fail. You believe that hellhounds are ferocious, deadly creatures that live in some realms of the hells, and they are very intelligent to the point of actually understanding military tactics. It's sort of an innate feature that they just maybe have. You're not too sure, but you think that it's quite possible they could do this by themselves.
Okay.
Nope, don't know anything.
Okay. Well, I think
5% of today's donation, someone donated like $333 apparently.
Wow.
Whoa.
Thank you
Wow.
very much.
Yeah.
Very much appreciated. Well, given that, then there's nothing further that Malphas really wants to discuss with anyone. He's going to speak with Tulips and Briolana at some point, just kind of move off to the side or wherever they are. He's not specifically trying to exclude anyone else, but he's discussing things with his companions.
Very good.
It seems that in the day, they seem a little bit less active with us. Certainly at night, they're pressing us more, and there's lots of reasons why that might be.
Mm-hmm.
I could, risky, but I could try to hang back from the caravan. The next time night falls, rather than going ahead, I could try to just move into the shadows and just let the caravan move a fair distance away from me. They don't ever seem to get close enough for us to get any kind of sight on them, to work out what's going on, and maybe I could find something out. Again, it's risky, but
Just from a wisdom standpoint, because I'm not going to roll to see if I know anything about the hellhounds, but they're hounds. It makes me think that just automatically that maybe if they don't see you in the shadows, they could perceive you still.
That's a good point.
By way of smell, and
that's
be
possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying it could be a thing.
Well, you can theorize that all you want. You don't have to roll for it. You can theorize that because they're dogs, you would know that dogs smell very well.
Yeah.
If you want to know specifically, you'd have to do an Arcana check, but you could theorize that from dogs without having to roll anything. It's fine.
I was just saying I have a wisdom of +2 wisdom bonus. I was thinking, well, I know dogs, right? Dogs, me.
Yeah.
Could be a thing.
Right now we're walking blind, and it basically they're controlling this, not us. We've been lucky not to be pressed harder than we have, but
Well, we're still making progress, aren't we? That's
a
more
good question. That's what I was
for
going to ask.
at
Like,
least
are we being
we're still
harried?
moving. We're still getting closer, like at a normal pace.
More and more iffy. It becomes less well paved and more sort of a dirt track.
okay. So we're slowing down. All right.
The pace
okay.
does slow down a little bit.
How like would our characters have a sense of how far out we are now, like how far we've traveled, or maybe even talking to the wagon master, like how many more days travel have we got? Has it been like
Talk to him directly, sure.
that's literally what Malphas says.
We couldn't go the straight road to Therum. I've kind of given up going to Therum entirely. We're going to have to take a complete detour past Therum. There is a path that goes through the mountains nearby.
The
Hold on.
Mines of Moria.
And you didn't think to tell us that we were going somewhere else entirely?
Honestly, it slipped my mind with all the attacks. And you didn't ask, so I kind of forgot. I'm really sorry. I would have told you. But we're going to have to take a long way around.
Do I hear this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Then I think it's about time we talked about exactly how much you are paying us.
I want to make a insight
Without
check.
even insight.
Yeah, for deception. You know, I guess he rolls deception, and I try to roll insight or something like that.
If he is rolling deception. Sure. Now let me go get my dice.
Just to see whether or not he is genuine about, oh, it just slipped my mind that we're going through a detour.
Sure. Roll an insight. He instantly just sort of turns around. Sorry, he's not turning around. He's already looking at Bree. He just looks at Bree and says, if we get out of this and I still have my wagons, I will pay you. Let's call it 4 gold per civilian that's still alive. That's 100 gold each if you manage to get all of them out.
Ooh. All right, so we don't want to waste the wedges. Okay, good.
Master Tulip's crit fails.
Yeah.
You believe that he is being incredibly duplicitous. No, you just can't get a read on him whatsoever. You're not too sure what's going on, but you're a little bit concerned that maybe he's like an alcoholic or something. He seems a bit tired. You've seen people who spent too long in pubs and they look a little bit like this after a while. You're not too sure, but he doesn't seem to be misleading you or sort of telling the truth. He's just too tired to really get a read on.
So I don't find him suspicious anymore. All right.
You can find him suspicious if you want, but you don't find him true either. You're just not sure.
Yeah.
Malphas will kind of murmur to the group, and he will use Infernal for this, since he knows that Bree can understand it. And he's not specifically talking over the others. He just waits for things to move on, and he just sort of murmurs like, "I'm liking this situation less and less. I feel that people aren't being straight with us. We've gone out of our way to protect them. Yeah, I know he mentioned we get paid, but honestly, if we're dead, we can't spend any money."
Unless there's a necromancer. Sorry, I don't say that.
Quite a few people have said, Arumbo should come back, but he'll have to play a necromancer. It's like, yeah.
I don't like it either. Infernal.
Master really a little bit taken aback, and people just going, Snarskimotuk. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't speak whatever that is.
As I mentioned, Malphas waited until the conversation had played down, and he was just with the group, literally just talking amongst themselves as they walk.
Yeah, I can just say we'll confer and leave, and then we'll go and chat. But still, Infernal is probably the best bet.
Still speaking in Infernal, and again, he's not speaking at full volume, just quietly talking amongst friends.
Private conversation.
Yeah. If this does get bad, I really don't care about the money. I mean, I'd like it, but I could easily take it off their corpses if I wanted it that much. If this goes rough, if the battle seems lost, I only care that we get out of this alive.
Agreed. However, there's more to this. There's a lot more to this.
Of course there is. Things like this wouldn't be chasing us this long if they were just hungry, and if they were hungry, they'd be trying to eat people. This is a persistent hunt. There's a reason behind this. But I've not seen anything on the caravans that would imply that they're chasing something unless it's a person. At that, Malphas, as if he just thought of something, turns around and looks at the tall bloke and the woman with the pistols.
And when he looks back, Braylon is giving him a look like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just and just inside my own head, Tulips is just thinking about, you know, if we're being harried by the hounds, if they're not directing us to this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, obviously this is the safer option, right? So let's just keep pushing them till they get there, and then things get all out of sorts.
That's true. They could be herding us this way.
Yep, like we're sheep.
I think it's fair to say with that fool driving the carts, they are herding us somewhere. And that's what bothers me the most. We're not making any progress. We may think that we are, and perhaps we are getting closer to our destination, but I don't think so. I think that we are getting closer to a trap now that I know that we are not on the original path. And to be entirely honest, I'm not sure that the wagon cart leader person is not the one sending us in that trap. There's something more going on here, and we know that. And the fact that the pistols keep showing up everywhere, yet
that's
no
where
one has actually offered to sell any to us. We've yet to see a vendor anywhere. It's all been very shady.
What was it you wanted to say, Tulips?
Just wondering about who was it that said, because we had been referring to them as boomsticks, because that's what
Sarah
had. So
Sarah called them
had
pistols.
said pistols.
To be fair, there are things in the rulebook called pistol crossbows, which is just a short pistol crossbow. So
at that, Malphas will notice that is a mystery that has been vexing me for some time. I come from a city, a big city. I should have heard about these sorts of things if they were around. These are either a relatively new invention, and if so, they've spread remarkably fast, or there's something worse going on. I mean, that's the most... That's the best situation, is they're just something new that has caught on really well. But my money is not on that. My money is there's something much more sinister regarding these things. But do you think that perhaps the next night, the next watch, see if it's hard for me to get near the wagons. Bree, do you think that you'd be able to take my place on the next watch? You've got a reasonable reason to say that you would be up ahead, and then perhaps use your invisibility spell. Come back towards the wagons and have a proper look around. Or move a bit further. I mean, it seems that one of the best things we could do.
I can cast invisibility on you.
That would possibly be the best idea. If both of us go for watch ahead,
let me see what
invisibility.
Range on invisibility is. I don't know if I have to touch you. I'll find it eventually. Don't mind me.
Invisibility.
I know the alphabet.
What was that?
Okay.
EE?
Or invisibility might be a touch spell.
Yeah, it is. It is a touch spell, so you'd have to be invisible before you left. Or
alternatively, you come with me.
Yeah. I think that might be an option. You go out there and I join you. Or...
Invisibility.
Just to check, during the last day and a half, you were debating having an 8-hour rest, regardless of the fact that it might be a little bit on the dangerous side. Did you want to do that, Bree?
Apparently I don't need to.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
if I'm
get your health back, and it would get your...
I was already healed thanks to Tulips, and I don't know. Can I only regain spells once with a short rest, or can I do that more than
I
once?
have to check the wording of the wizard perk.
Alternatively,
Arcane recovery. Spell slots have combined, blah, blah, blah. Once per day when you finish.
Okay, so it has been 1.5 days, so you can do it again.
So, yeah. So we can assume that I've recouped all of my spells.
It's only level. Yeah, you can use them to make level ones and. Yeah,
I had 2 level 1s gone and 1 level 2 gone.
Yeah,
and
you've got them right now.
Yeah.
okay.
So at the end of this 1.5 days, which I assume you were having the conversation pretty much at the end of that 1.5 days, you start going up sort of the beginnings, not quite into the mountains themselves, but you go up the start of the proper incline towards them. And you notice in front of you these mountains go up quite a way. There is a quite formidable mountain range. If I flip over briefly, very briefly to the map, and I'll take the players along as well, because why not? We are looking at having deviated about here from your original plan.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So
where
there's a fairly major
exactly are we going?
Well, if you talk to Master Ready about that, he would be happy to tell you.
Wow. That's very strange.
Ask.
I'm actually at this particular point, if that's where we're heading, I mean, and we know this, right? Do we have geographical knowledge, like just in our head, we know we're going in the wrong way? Or are we just kind of think we're still going in the right way?
Yeah, I'm wondering how it escaped us that we were that far off track. But
I mean, I'm
Well,
gonna.
when you it was only like a few hours later, so
Yeah, I'm gonna put like Malphas not, getting warning signals there because he's literally a city rat. He's out of his element when he's not in a city. I mean, and he's never been to Theron, so I'm gonna say that he would not necessarily think there was something amiss, unless someone he trusted started to get anxious about it, and then he'd like latch on to that. But outside of that eventuality, Malphas is like, well, mountains is mountains. I'm going to a place where there's dwarves. The dwarves live in the mountains. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm wondering, have I ever been to Therum? Have I ever been there? I don't have it in my backstory, but as a traveling bard, I said that I was going around from place to place. I'm just wondering if that was one of the places.
Therum's less likely than some places. It's a dwarf hold. They're known for the fact that they're a dwarf hold, so B, anything to do with mining, etc. And also C, they do have I think they have a magical university there, although it tends to be very dwarf focused.
Right.
So nothing major that would stick out for a bard, other than the fact that they're one of the few major dwarf holds around. So.
Okay. Well, I that particular reasoning, I suppose, then I'm just rather excited to finally go to Therum, so I have no idea where we're at. Okay. This could be the road to Therum.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, as you head up towards the mountains, all of you spot these effectively small pillars where boulders have been balanced atop boulders. So you've got tiny little cairns that appear by the side of the road in places.
Any of them got any markings on them? Because we're on a trail and we've been traveling for a long time. Trails do tend to have some sort of signage. Cairns were often that.
Yeah, these cairns don't have any sort of signage or marks on them you can see, at least obviously. But they are fairly sizable. They're quite reasonable sized boulders.
Okay.
At some point, I ritual cast detect magic to examine one.
Sure.
Unless these are the only ones.
Okay. You notice a few of them, and eventually you just pop over to the third one. You walk a little bit ahead, cast detect magic as the convoy sort of moves slowly past you. It's not magical. It's just some boulders.
Great. What about things in the cart?
You walk back over to the cart.
Casual, glancing around.
Nothing particularly magical over there. You do notice that Sarah, her sword, she has a sword in a sheath. She hasn't mentioned it. It hasn't been pulled out or anything, but she does have a sword in a sheath. That is magical. And you also notice that the guard that you talked to before, the only surviving guard, actually has a magical dagger at his side as well.
Okay.
Olar's club is also magical, but it's not magical in the way that it's been enchanted. It's something to do with the wood itself is just innately magical. It's maybe some sort of special tree or something, but it's a very background level of there is potential there, but it's not been focused.
And Sarah?
Sarah reads as mundane. No, she's not magical. You give me a look.
Yes, I am.
Okay, fair enough.
Because of your description of her.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, assuming that just whilst Brianna's doing that and just people are generally walking, is it daytime still, or is it coming to night now?
We're getting back towards night again.
Okay. Right. Well, I think it's reasonable that before, walking on ahead, and given that the terrain is starting to change, that Malphas would go up to the caravan master, the wagon master, and just strike up a conversation and mention. So we're taking this detour here. How much of a detour is this?
He sort of nods and sort of this general sort of air agreement you get of his body language, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty major. It's going to lose a lot of coin from the trek, but see, the route I normally take is we normally go from Riverton down to Therum, and then we go across into the Kingdom of Van Helt, and then down towards the Circle C and the trade convoys and stuff around there. And then we go back up. And, the stuff we can get at the Circle C around there, it's places like Fatona.
As he starts to go into the discussion of his actual job and what he'd normally do, Malphas is just going to hold up and say, I think it's reasonable to say you've lost almost all of the coin on this trek. You're now trying to survive. I don't actually care about the business. I don't mean to sound unfair with that, but this is much more important.
We're going to have to go straight down through the Wood Elves' domain and just go straight down to Circle C from there.
So what did he say? Because it kind of cut out a little bit.
We're going to have to go straight over the mountains, down through the Wood Elf domain, and then down towards the Circle C.
Okay. Let me just have a look on the map.
I was going to say, where'd the map go?
I'll bring the map back for you.
Well, if you've got the file was in the drive.
Yeah, it's
not.
You need it.
Right. So he's saying we're going.
Say again.
The proposed path is now being drawn on the map. Maybe not exact, but it's a proposed path.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Okay, I'm glad. Whereas the actual path you wanted to take,
I don't really forgive you.
Think.
Right. So, based on his description, he's basically said that we're bypassing Therum for now.
Yeah.
Malphas is going to get quite angry at that. And he's going to just flatly say, so you heard us send our friend on ahead, risking attack to a place that you're not even taking us anymore, and having her with the plan to send the city guard out to meet us. They're going to come out there, find nothing. She might believe that we're dead, or they're going to come out there and find death themselves because whatever's chasing us, it's possibly still there. We don't know how many. When were you thinking that you were going to tell everyone else this change in plan? He's quite frustrated with this.
He sort of deflates quite a bit and sort of has a little sigh inwardly that you can almost see. And says, It completely slipped my mind. We've been under attack for several days. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I should have told you. I know I would feel the same way in your shoes, but it's been a few...
Sorry is what you say when you accidentally knock a vase over with your tail. It is not what you say when you've possibly sent someone's friend off to die, the city guard from where they're going to, somewhere else to die, and you've added days and days and days, weeks possibly, to a trek under attack from the gods only know what. Sorry doesn't quite make up for this.
He vaguely nods and shrugs at the same time. Kind of an interesting motion.
I feel like we should turn around.
I know. I know. And there's nothing more I can really say. I mean, you're more than welcome to leave if you want, but I think that would be unfortunate. I mean, we had a few people try to leave beforehand, and we heard their screams in the night.
And you've also had to send our friend off with the horses, the only option we realistically had to leave. At that, Malphas kind of looking back to Briolana and Tulip, she kind of gestures for them to walk up to where he's having this discussion.
Yeah, I'm assuming that anytime any of us goes to talk to the
Sure.
wagon master, we are not far behind.
Yeah.
That I didn't walk up with you, but
Well, he's now, officially bringing you into the circle of the discussion and welcoming your participation in it.
Mm-hmm.
I know, obviously this isn't about coin, and coin won't make it better and sort out the situation for you. But I don't know if there's anything more I can really offer at this stage. I will happily offer you an additional 50 coin on top each.
Frankly, I'm not sure.
Where's so much if we're going into a trap?
Because my thing is like generally merchants give you gold with a job well done only because they also had a profit to make. There's no profit in this expedition.
Malphas was about to point out, where are you going to get this money from? You've already said you had to ditch your cargo. I can only assume that you can't just alchemy money out of nothing.
I actually keep gold on me for trade purposes. I actually have the gold. The gold isn't particularly heavy. And the profit to be made is me to continue trading. If I continue trading, I can continue to get my money back. I mean, I've got a couple of warehouses that I have that I can replenish my stock from, but it'll be tough.
Has anybody not made an
insight? Why have we not turned around? Why are we still... Why this massive detour?
We were 2 days out of Riverton. We could have gone back.
We still could. It's still faster to turn around
than to go forward.
Back than to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't we?
Because they're chasing us from behind. We're being chased this way.
You've said exactly what I'm most concerned about. They're chasing us this way.
I don't like being harried into a corner. There could be anything ahead. We know what's behind. We don't know what's ahead.
All I can tell you about the head is it's not a road that's taken particularly often by merchants.
I wonder why.
Okay, yeah, no. We need to have a
By the way,
group voting.
By the way, gold is actually kind of heavy. Just putting it out there.
50
kinda.
gold pieces, I think, is a pound.
Yeah,
Plus hundreds of gold coins as well. Yeah, I've got loads of... I just carry around this little pouch right next to me. Yeah, really? More like a sack of your back, mate.
Yeah, but gold coins themselves aren't particularly big, and the gold in them isn't particularly pure, so it's not like super heavy.
Okay.
And he probably has trading gots on him as a trader rather than pure gold coin.
It was just the chat picked up on it as well. My chat was like, gold's actually heavy. Gold isn't heavy.
I think
it is where I come from.
In terms of volume, it's not so much weight; it's mainly the volume in the carts.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough then.
To an extent, it's also weight, but
in game mechanics, I think it's
trading
50 gold
pure.
pieces. 50 gold pieces is a pound, I think, in game
Anyway,
mechanics.
Whatever we do, we need to do it now. I'm not convinced that you're making the right decision for all of these people. I think you're going to get them killed. You're leading them somewhere you don't know if they're enemies. You're being chased by something. This seems pretty happy to let you go in the direction you're going, even though it could easily catch up. It could easily overtake us. It could easily come at us from the front.
It's daytime right now, right?
Coming on tonight.
But yes, it's daytime.
If we turn around now while it's still somewhat light out, we'll take whatever's behind us by surprise. We pick up the pace as quickly as we can. We charge through the night. It's the only shot we've got. Right now, we are going into a trap. I can almost guarantee it. And I think my companions here will agree. Our best chance for survival. Forget profit, forget keeping your business alive. Our best chance for survival is to turn around and regain the road.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And just as a meta point, I am aware that in a game sense, probably more EXP straight ahead. But in a character sense, life is behind, death is in front. It's not a difficult choice to be making.
I mean, if he can give us some clear answer as to why he wants to head in this direction, other than because we're being harried in this direction. Why is there an outpost that you know of, that you have an uncle or a dog that you know that's going to be helpful in some weird way?
Okay, so as you ask him why he's going this direction, he says, well, I've traded with the elves before. I know them reasonably well. Not as many people can travel through the elf area as I can. Luckily, I have a working relationship. As soon as we get there, we should be perfectly in the clear. They'll happily defend the trails. They do not like people trespassing their domain.
How far away?
This trail is fairly unused.
How far out are we from it?
What, the trail or the elf domain?
The elf domain.
A few days. You're probably about almost halfway there if you take into account if you just talk about the straight road as it goes.
Malphas is frustrated by this.
Have we lost anybody due to the attacks since we moved?
Since you've been guarding it, no. They've been the attacks have very much been trying to pick people off, and you all have been there. And because you've not been taking long rests, you've been all maybe making sure to be able to guard properly.
All right.
Okay.
And they've been very much testing you, making sure you respect them and then backing away.
What is the quality of this road? How wide is it?
It's where you are at the moment, just about wide enough for a cart and maybe two people.
Okay. Malphas will kind of... It's not like we can turn the cart around on this road anyway. Fine. We're halfway there. We may as well go forward rather than turning back, since it's as close at this point. But you have made a serious error in judgment. And if someone dies here, the blood is cleanly on your hands. No one else's. You've made this choice.
The interesting thing is I don't. He didn't roll a persuasion check, but it was a very good persuasion on my part. Knowing that there's going to be elves ahead does make, if they're friendly, does make it typically a lot harder to be harried by the dogs anymore, because the elves.
Yeah, I mean, at that point when he
In Infernal, Briolana says, through gritted teeth, "I did not sign up to go to the Elflands."
There's a story there, I take it.
Meta note: it's wood elves, not high elves.
Oh.
Meta note: doesn't matter.
Okay.
Don't like elves. Okay.
But I appreciate the lookout.
Okay, just checking. In terms of interoperability between high elves and wood elves, not a lot going on there. They don't even have like a border or anything, and generally they kind of look down on each other. So, but yeah.
Well, there you go. If you want to just lay it all out there.
Well, you asking?
No, I wasn't.
I do like that. No, actually, you are incorrect. But
Aridia was mentioning about the trail, and he continues on, and he says, I only know about the trail because it's not used very much anymore, and it was back once in the day, but it's fallen into disrepair. And I was hoping that they wouldn't have planned for us to go this way, and if they were forcing us into a trap towards Therum, trying to increase our pace, then we could have thrown them by coming this way.
Fine, we'll do
Break
it your
that.
way, but I don't intend to walk with this wagon the whole way. We'll see you safe to the elven borders. Then your friends, the elves, can protect the caravan. But I want the payment at that point.
He happily nods and agrees.
All right.
At that as well, Malphas kind of nods, and it's clear the conversation with the wagon master is over as far as Malphas is concerned. But turning back to his companions and preparing to move away from where the wagon master is, he just kind of murmurs again in Infernal, this time directed at Bree. He's like, if you don't want to go into the Elflands, we can split off there. Likelihood is these things are following the wagon anyway, and it's the elves' problem at that point. Once we're paid, we can just leave.
I like it. All right, I'm good with that. I mean, the thing is, too, after the elves, if they're good elves, obviously, we don't have to worry about it. There's an army versus us three.
Yeah.
Done. Move on.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
And with that, I think we have a break.
Indeed.
We do indeed. So we're gonna have a short break. Not all the intros during the break video might be
Only one intro matters. This is a party of one. The rest are just side NPCs accompanying me.
My music. I have really good music.
Okay, you can stay, but Tulips, you got nothing to bring to this. Nothing. Except, your songs, which I suppose
He
are
brings the
also...
poems to the rest of the show.
Get it together, Bard.
I know. I need a thingy-majigger.
Compose faster. But yeah, anyway, we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned, and we'll be back to find out what awaits them.
BRB,
Whichever.
guys.
Path.
Okay, as usual, my chat is going to be just live, unmuted, and I'm going to step away, get a drink, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm going to step away as well.
And muted or unmuted?
Huh?
He's already gone. All right. Mine is still live, but it's muted and there's a screen up. So
I think
I'm going to go make coffee.
that's his own knowing him.
No.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back.
Coffee.
Very good then. Am I the only one here then?
You're the only one.
Ah! Well, that's a voice in my head. I should be concerned.
Hey, pretty kitty. How are you?
I completely forgot to mention one of the good reasons for actually going up this trail.
Yeah.
Because now they can only come from behind you because it's a narrow trail.
That is good.
I forgot. I was like, I should have wrote down a list about why this is happening, but I didn't because I'm special.
If they, well, I guess it is. We're in a valley then, right? So there's just rock walls on the side.
No. You're actually going up towards you get basically getting onto the edge of a hill now towards the mountain, and the sides are slowly getting steeper as it starts to zigzag back and forth up.
Right.
So that to come at you from the side, someone would have to come down a fairly steep slope. To come at you from below, they'd have to come up a fairly steep slope. The only really flat way of getting to you is from front and back.
That's very defendable. Yeah. Okay.
I am back.
Blanked.
Greetings and welcome back.
Thank you. It is bitterly cold in Scotland at the moment.
Is it, eh? It's still surprisingly warm in northern Canada. I have no idea why it's so warm. I'm glad it's warm.
I'm wearing this really heavy jumper on. I was this close to putting on one of my coats.
Oh,
Really? Wow.
yeah.
It's actually really cold. Really cold. On top of this, I mean. Not instead of. It's like, yeah, I'm going to add another really heavy layer. Need to insulate myself.
Yeah.
Cover myself in insulating foam.
Oddly enough, generally by December specifically, we've got, at least a couple and a half feet of snow. And there's not any snow. It's weird. It's if it's cold in Scotland, then we basically just switched climates this year.
If it helps, my parents have had the third once in 100 years storm in 10 years.
Yeah, the flooding in north of England was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's nutters.
Like, oh, this is a once in a 100-year storm. This is once in a 300-year storm. This is once in a 200-year storm. Really? That was 10 years we just had.
I was looking at one of the scientific, what do you want to call it, their forecasts, if you will, of climate change, and it seems kind of deplorable at the moment. It seems like there has to be a drastic change to stop the way we're heading.
Yeah, all the humans get wiped out by inclement weather.
And everybody's like,
Wow,
wow,
what's a positive conversation?
Yeah, well, no, it's just like, what's so...
That
what's
would
so
fix
bad
it, though. The planet's like, well, I tried to reduce your numbers by plagues and all of these super viruses. You just keep fixing them. You know what? I'm just going to freeze you all. That'll teach you, you insignificant little insects.
No.
Then everything will go back. It'll be fine.
So,
Yeah.
you said you removed the map because we didn't need to have it, or why is the map no longer in Google Drive?
It is in Google Drive, isn't it?
Okay.
It
I
could
will
be
try
some...
logging into an appropriate Google Drive account and seeing, but it
Just to make you aware, EE did lose his account access for a bit, so that might have caused something. There may have been a period of just it not being there for that.
So in theory, it's back.
Oh, yeah, I checked.
Okay.
It was back.
I will try again.
I completely blanked, by the way. One of the best reasons for going this route is because the way that the edges of the thing are going to be slopes means that people can only come at you from the front and back of the trail, which means that you suddenly have a very defensible position.
Yep.
Unless they can fly.
Unless
or they're
they can
good at
fly.
climbing.
I don't know about that.
Or really good long-range archers.
Or climbing goats.
Light.
Goat men, yeah, we'd be buggered if they
Yeah.
were goat men.
I'm just saying, if goats can, things from hell, dragons, wyverns, countless
Hell have mountains.
Hell cows.
hell cows. Yes.
I remember that level in Diablo.
Vicious hell cows.
Bovine
Are we
Diablos.
Going back live again? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I've been live the whole time.
Currently, it's in the Wolf Slayer intro, so I'm happy to go back whenever. Yeah?
Metasapia has advised us that we may be the Wicked Witch may send her flying monkeys. That's also an option. Flying monkeys. Flying hell monkeys.
I'm going back.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello.
I thought the intro was going to be that long, kind of eerie whine that was in the thing.
Yeah.
That was good timing.
I think I should play my song. I like my song.
Your song is the best song.
I know. I just need art.
When Blade song happens.
What's that?
That's a good point.
I should just get your song down and play every time Blade song happens.
Well, I did kind of mention that possibility when I was asking Liz to make it.
Oh, that would be cool. I could do that then. I don't know if it's the right tempo. Like,
yeah,
music.
And that's like I was saying to her, you know, not to like try and get too many songs, but like different ways that she could go with it. I'm not saying that it's necessarily.
Yeah, because it's got kind of your sort of normal like speaky intro thing rather than a dun 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 dun. Like, yeah.
That sounded like something out of Terminator.
That's towards the end.
Dun 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 dun. Ching. Dun 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 dun. Ching.
Okay, so apart from playing Terminator, welcome back to D&D Roll4It. We're raising money for charity. Currently raising money for Doctors Without Borders. We are on 163% of today's goal. Thank you very much. That means we're nearly up to Inspiration Die, and if we get to 300%, I think we are on 1.5 times XP boost, which will be kind of cool. You are rint through level 4 at this rate anyway.
We're very close to level 5. If we have even remotely similar EXP to last session, we will all be level 5 before the next one.
By the way, point of
I get really good at level 5.
Level 5 is good for everyone. But yeah, did everyone take their health bonus at the last level?
No.
I did.
Do that.
Health bonus?
What was the health bonus,
Your
sir?
hit points going up.
By how much?
When you level up, you get your hit point increase, remember?
Yeah.
When you leveled up to 4.
Oh, I did that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking that people did that last session because we kind of went through it.
I thought you were saying like because of last.
Yeah, that's
stream.
why I didn't die.
And I was like, whoa, we get health?
Right, but anyway, Doctors Without Borders is a great charity, raising money for them. They do medical care for people in parts of the world where you just can't get medical care, which means certain parts of Scotland. Also anywhere that has sort of war conflicts, stuff like that, emergencies, like disasters and whatever. Well done, Briar. Take away from the important part of the stream. They do 200 million conversations a year. They have people who go between like remote villages in parts of Africa to be able to help with like measles and mumps and stuff like that. That just sort of has hideouts there that they just need to be able to try and eradicate. Like really crazy kind of stuff where they're just sort of guerrilla doctors basically. So yeah, totally worthwhile organization support. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna get straight back to it.
Not to be confused with Dr. Gorillas. Very different. Very, very different.
Oh dear.
Awesome,
imagining
but different.
Like kind of a thing at some stage.
I think if we could train gorillas to provide basic medical care, that'd be fantastic. Gorillas would probably stop going extinct because people would be like, they're far too valuable to kill and eat.
Wait, that's how Planet of the Apes happens.
Oh, we don't want that.
No.
Also, I still can't get Terminator theme tune out of my head. Damn you for being so good.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, carry on.
Going up towards the foothills of the mountain. A few more days pass. Well, not a few more days. Another half day. You're into nighttime now, and you are now properly into effectively the foot of the mountain as the path starts to zigzag up the side of the mountain. The path to the edge of the path is sort of left and right. Up your right is a steep slope. Sort of, we're talking about a 60-degree incline, so you can traverse it, but it is fairly difficult. And off to your left, it goes down at the same sort of angle. Ahead of you, the path continues up and then sort of zigzags back, meandering up slowly up the side. And the rock formations nearby, the sort of cairns that you've been seeing, become a little less frequent, but they do appear in several places, and you get the idea that maybe they're just less frequent because there's less stable ground to put them on. Okay. Obviously, having that difficulty of trying to actually find somewhere to put them. You have less attacks as such, mainly because there is just less area for anyone to attack you from. You've sort of gone another half day, so you're into the nighttime now, so you've mainly only had 2 attacks.
No flying hellish beasts raining down death and destruction. No, I'm not sad about this. I'm actually really glad, but I'm just checking, no strange lights in the sky, no abductions.
Fair enough.
No mutilated cattle. Good times.
No, not yet. Everyone make perception checks at disadvantage.
I don't like deception checks, and I don't like having
Do I
a
really need to
disadvantage.
bother at that point?
Beyond 60 feet, it's disadvantage.
I got a 6.
Okay.
I'm looking for my perception bonus. Oh, +3. Very good.
Dum dum da dum dum da dum.
Just a 9 then.
Got a 6, a 7, and a 9. Oh, actually, what's your bonus? Sorry.
6.
Oh, you're a 6 and a 6 and a 9. Okay.
Was a 6.
I'm too busy practicing my next song. Just practicing.
Does it start? Da dum dum da dum.
Da dum dum da dum. Okay.
Sorry.
One day we're gonna have to have a special bardic stream, just
What we're gonna
jamming
have
out.
to do is I'm gonna have to have a moment after the stream to put the song on loop to get it out of my system.
Yeah.
So, Malthus, I assume, is still scouting at the head of the column.
Yeah. Yep.
Tulips, you're in one of the carts, I assume, composing this poem then, taking one of your short rests. And Bree, are you with Malthus, or would you be taking up the rear?
You shouldn't give me that choice, because then we dive into the realm of Malthus and I were planning to do a thing with me being invisible and scouting back at the cart. But I was letting it go because we just seemed to kind of move past it. But now I want to.
Okay.
So maybe you should tell me what I'm doing.
Well, it's getting into the dead of night, and you could be with Malthus about to do it.
We never finished working out the plan, though.
Okay, so you're with Malthus now working out the plan.
Okay. Right. Well, obvious targets of intrigue are clearly the cart that sticks out like a sore thumb and the 2 people in it. What have they got in that cart? I've not seen them pull as
At
much.
which point, a boulder flies down from above.
Didn't see it coming.
Into part of the road nearby, smashing a sort of a hail of pebbles over everyone. Unfortunately, it doesn't really. Fortunately, it doesn't really hit anyone. But it's very close to one of the carts.
I thought you said unfortunately. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm not trying.
I'm really quite glad it didn't come for me, because my instincts would be to try and catch it. No, bad instincts. Go back.
You have got a glove of missile snaring.
That might not work.
It smashes into the ground nearby. Hail of pebbles go up. Roll initiative.
Okay.
Whoa. So it really was a flying boulder, like an enchanted boulder.
As I'm rolling initiative, all Malphas is gonna do while he's on his bloody giants. 11 is my initiative.
14's not bad.
And would Breeze be 17?
Yep.
Seriously. News coming. Bloody hell giants or something. What did you roll?
I crit failed, and I've got a -1.
Wow. So that means you don't go at all.
Yeah. You missed first 10.
So they threw the boulder
And they got cramped.
down the side of the mountain, slid down on their butt, and are now in front of us prone. Perfect. I like it.
I like it.
Actually, you hear a just someone just falling over, smash. There's a loud crash of what sounds to be almost stone breaking, and Scree slides down the side of the mountain, and with it a huge figure. lands roughly between the first and second cart.
As it's sliding past, can I have an attack of opportunity?
You're unfortunately 60 feet at the front of the first
I know,
cart.
thus it has to come past me.
Where am I currently?
Sliding from directly up the slope, not in front of you up the road, but on one of the zigzags above you.
Oh, right. Sorry, I misinterpreted. Okay.
No, it comes down from the right, basically at 90 degrees from the train of direction you're going.
Poor guy was probably just trying to build cairns and slipped.
Right, so who got what for initiative? It's...
Brialana got 17. Tulips got 14.
Tulips.
And I rolled 11.
Better than that.
I am disappointed.
I don't need to go first. I'll do enough damage to make up for wherever I go.
Okay, so Tulips,
Ah,
you're in the rear of the front carriage right now. The second carriage is most of the wounded, so I assume you'll be in the first carriage. And effectively, there's a smash of pebbles off behind you. You can vaguely see it looks like boulders come impacting into the ground. You're not sure what. You sort of peek your head out to look up the slope, and you just see this giant figure coming down in a hail of pebbles flat onto the trail, roughly between you and the cart in front of you. So you're maybe 5 foot away from this guy. It is definitely a giant.
okay.
That was a good face. Was that the face that Tulips made? Like,
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, I don't know what to do with this thing.
Bree goes first, but you had the most interesting what's happening kind of thing going on. So Bree.
what? You're giggling. Have you never seen a woman eating a piece of apple with a knife before? My God, man.
Who, me? Or somebody else?
The giggling GM.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Let's see.
So we're going to get another knife out. It's like, ha! I went up your knife.
I am caught so off guard.
Okay, if you want to delay until after Tulips.
Sure.
Out of curiosity, what initiative did the civilians roll?
Oh, I forgot. Each of you get to pick a civilian you get to control. You have a choice between Sarah, Ola, and Morris. Unfortunately, no one really talked to Morris. I feel Morris was getting a little bit left out there.
I don't even know who Morris is, so I'll go with Sarah because she's shooty.
He's the guard who survived.
The
Oh,
old
you
man-
mean red shirt number 1?
the little old man or
Backstory.
the like younger muscly guy? Because I want the little old dude.
The old dude. I'm afraid the old dude's controlled by me.
What? Bloody
I know.
Your best
blatant,
character.
blatant
OP,
GM
please, sir.
favoritism for himself.
I'm sorry, I don't,
You scoundrel, you.
Right, who wants Ola?
I don't know what any of these characters are because you told us not to look.
Yeah?
Now is when you
I'll
can
have a
look.
We don't know.
I will pick whichever one starts with S.
Oh, that's the one I wanted. Damn, okay, you can have it, I suppose.
Whatever. I'll take Morris. It's all the
Melfa.
same. We don't know anything about any of them.
What's her name? Sarah?
Yeah.
All I know is what you've seen so far of them in character. Stats aren't important.
When we're go.
Kind of are, because looking at this, it tells us what special attacks they've got. If we're controlling them, we kind of need to know.
Okay, so Melfas, have you got Ola up in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Tulips, have you got Sour?
I'm bringing it up now.
Sorry,
Okay, good.
by the way, viewers and chat, I can't bring this up. I'd have to do a lot of finagling around because our GM didn't properly tell us what we were going to have to be doing here, so I've not prepared anything. You can hashtag blame EE for this one.
And
Completely
Bree,
legit.
you've got Morris up, haven't you? Good. Okay. So if you want to roll initiative for them as well.
Oh, for Morris.
Ola got a 1, but honestly, that's in character. He just sees since I'm controlling him, I get to say what this one is. He sees the giant falling down, and he thinks, "Oh, that's what I'm meant to do." So he mimics him and just plants himself on his ass.
I don't have this person's initiative modifier, but I'm assuming it's just their dex. So
It's +3, yeah. Or sorry, mine's +3.
14. So that goes, say after tulips. So Olar's going there, and what did Morris get? Bree?
15.
15. Oh. Well, Morris is going first then, Bree. Morris is basically right next to it.
I guess he hits it.
I know nothing about this character that I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm just like, he has a story.
I'm
so I
giving
guess
you
he
the
tries to hit it with
control of the
sword.
combat so that I'm just not rolling against myself for a lot of it.
Okay, the problem that I'm having right now is, would he assume that this is a hostile creature? I'm gonna go with
Yeah, you paid to guard it. It's a giant. It just threw a boulder at you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just like, if it was, yeah.
I don't know. I think Ola.
Because I didn't want to make that choice, and then it's me again. That's why I'm frustrated. I'm sorry.
Bloodthirsty Bree. Terrible.
So he tries to hit it.
Sure. Okay. He runs over, and it's a prone target, so you do get advantage. Now, for the sake of viewers at home, Morris is packing a longsword and a shield, in addition to a longbow. That's a crit.
That's awesome.
Reach 5 foot, one target, 1d8 plus 2. So that's 2d8 plus 2, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
$12 points. Total.
Wow. So Morris runs forwards and, seeing the giant who just tried to assault the caravan with a giant stone, begins laying into the giant with his longsword, stabbing at the huge mound of flesh in front of him. Okay, that makes it Bree. You are currently 60 feet in front of the front caravan, so you're probably about 75 feet from the giant itself.
Okay. Then I will just cast Magic Missile.
Okay.
And advance 30 feet-ish. I'm not going into Blade's well, it lasts, so I guess I go into Blade Song, and then I advance 40 feet, and I cast Magic Missile.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. So you move forward 40 feet, singing your blade song, and then your magic missile. So it's 3 projectiles, each of which does 1d4 plus.
1 each, I think, right?
It sounds about right.
I'm grabbing it just in case, Molly. Page away. I just can't get the pages apart. There we go. 1d4 plus 1 each. Yeah, of force damage. And I'm just gonna cast it at level 1.
Okay.
Not to worry about pumping it up. So I need 3d4.
This is just a roll. Just ignore this. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a disadvantage because you're you. But I'm gonna say you've built up a bit of an immunity, so you have a 5 proficiency. It would have almost been a crit, but you've rolled a 16 prior. I don't know where that sits with you, but there you go.
I rolled what? Sorry?
I think you're getting drunk.
Oh, I see. That roll. Thank you. Okay.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm getting there. Thank you very much.
You don't just
Alright,
enter
I
someone's
only
chat and say, roll to see if I'm drunk.
I only have 2d4 that show up well on the camera right now. I'm getting more. So I've got to re-roll one. Sorry.
I even have a song for the giant already. It's so good.
3, 4, and 2. That's 9 plus 3, 12.
Okay, so as you run forwards, singing your song, you unleash a barrage of 3 magic missiles that home in and strike the giant, bashing him pretty hard, and 12 points of damage. Okay. Right, there we go.
Brian, message just chimed in saying, if you forgot that you asked me to roll the dice that quickly, then yes, you are drunk. The rolls don't matter.
Not getting. Already crossed the threshold.
Okay, that makes it Sarah.
Sarah? Okay, according to what she's gonna whip out a pistoli. And she's gonna make multi-attacks. Apparently, she has 2 attacks with a pistol, provided she is not in melee combat. She is not in melee combat.
Okay.
So, let's just make that go. What is it? Roll to hit. Where's our to hit?
It says in the thing itself, it'll say to hit plus etc.
Oh, +5. I see. Okay. All right. So, let's go ahead. Actually, I'll just write it all in. 1d20. +5. This is to hit, and she's gonna miss.
The first round from the multi attack goes wide, hits a piece of rock.
It was a tracer round, right? It's just a tracer round. Now we know where we're aiming.
Need a magical laser sight.
Really?
Second one also goes wide. Obviously, the pistol itself is probably sort of miscalibrated.
That's unfortunate. Also, wouldn't I get -4? I think because he's prone. That's unfortunate. All these ranged attacks.
Actually, you get advantage because he's prone.
On melee attacks, right? Or is it range 2? I
Oh,
thought it was
it's disadvantage because he's
disadvantage for ranged. I think.
yeah. That said, he's a giant, so yeah. But anyway, it's fine. You missed. Right. So that makes it tulips.
All right. I am going to. Well, I suppose including Sarah because she's also under my control. I'm going to inspire Sarah, Avak, as well as. What is the wizard's name? I don't remember.
Briolana.
Briolana, thank you, Bri. I'm sorry.
Oh, so fantastic.
I'm sorry.
You didn't even sleep with her before you forgot her name. I mean, you're stepping up your game now. You're just going straight from met to forgotten name. Wow.
I'm under pressure. Dum, 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 dum. Anyway,
Getting down, me.
I got the song needed for inspiration. It goes like this. Down with the storm of earth. Gravity was reliant. Coming with the rock and roll was a bloody giant. And
I like that, actually.
D6?
I really like
D6.
that one. Wow.
And that's my
Okay, so you're inspiring Sarah.
Bree, as well as Melfas.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
That makes it Meltas then.
Okay. All right.
75.
Well, how far away am I?
It's 75 feet.
Okay. Well, I can easily move. Now, this is one question I had. With movement, because there's such a large amount of movement possible, this probably won't actually come up here, but it's as good a time to ask as any. Can I partially use up my movement, do something, then partially use up the rest? That is a possibility in the future. Okay. Right, well, I'm going to move 15 feet, so I'm within... well, actually, I'm at 80 feet, and that's my range. No, I'll stay where I am.
Okay.
What sort of sight have I got on the giant?
If it wasn't a giant, I'd say it had half cover from the cart, but it's a giant, so I'm not going to count that.
Okay. Do I have disadvantage on it due to its being prone?
Yes, but it is in combat anyway, and you always get your sneak attack when it's in combat. Or is it you get advantage when it's in combat?
I get advantage when it's in combat.
Okay, in which case, yes, it is prone, you would get disadvantage.
Okay. Does the disadvantage and advantage cancel each other out, though?
Yes, you would be at normal
So
to
it's
hit.
normal.
But, which means you wouldn't...
Yeah, that's a shame about not getting the sneak attack, but it's fine. So I've got +5 to hit. Not the best roll I'm going to get, but well. 12. 7 plus 5.
I'm afraid the arrow strikes it, but actually lodges in its loincloth.
Damn, I was aiming for the money shot there. I was going to end this fight quickly, but alas, I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, the arrow passed fairly slowly in the air and just pinged off a rock and straight into its loincloth. The giant
That was a trick shot, by the way. That was intentional. It was the only way I could hit it in the groin, but just wasn't good enough.
You assumed the giant was male.
Well, actually, he has used the gender nominative he a few times, so yes.
Unfortunately, I'm basing it straight off the picture there. It is a male giant.
I didn't see the picture. I was just going with what the GM had implied.
But yeah, right. So, do you want to do anything else?
Let me consider. I've got my bonus actions still. There's not a lot of things I can do though. What's the light level at the moment?
You would be in darkness. However, the people around the carts would probably be in normal light because of the torches on the carts.
Well, for the sheer hell of it, and because I don't know if that's the only one, I'm going to stealth. Using my bonus action for that. Which is plus 7. Crit. And then I'll move 15 feet.
Turn invisible from everyone's point of view, almost. You just disappear.
I am one with the shadows.
You're still standing, like, legit on the path.
Yeah.
You've just sort of pulled up your cloak in the right way to make yourself sort of blend in with the background. And people around the car lost their night vision. Knowing this, you're just like, I can just stand here and no one's ever going to see me.
Yeah. However, I don't just stand there. I do move. Okay. I'm 70 feet away. How far is the light being cast from the caravan?
Probably about 30 feet.
Okay.
No more than that.
Then I move 15 feet closer, so I'm at 60 feet away. And not just in a straight line. I kind of deviate a little bit so that if anything had seen where I was before and was aiming an attack there, I'm no longer there for them to hit.
Particularly wide, so unless you wanted to start going up the embankment next to it.
No, I just need to move away from where I was stood. It's fine.
Right, so that makes it Ola.
27, though. That is a pretty good roll.
Yeah,
I like it.
Good roll.
I like it.
This giant's going to stand up and squash us.
So Ola, what's he doing?
It's not my character. Who is in command?
Belfast?
Ola got a 1 on his initiative
Small
roll.
giant 0.
Did none of the civilians act before that?
I was going to do civilians at the end of the turn since they're not combat trained.
Okay. That's fine. I was just double checking because I really expected him to just go before the giant because of that. All right. How far away is Ola at the moment?
He's on the third caravan, so he's about 20 feet away from the giant.
It's fine. He can get into the giant in enough time. So
Sorry, it's about 15 feet, 'cause he did get off the front of the caravan and then... So yeah, it's about 15 feet away and prone.
Okay. And where is Sarah in relation? Sarah's quite far back, isn't she? Okay.
Well, she didn't move, so effectively she's fine from next to the cart, so she's about 15, 20 feet.
Okay. What happens with regards to grappling?
You make an attack roll. I think it's a strength roll, athletics versus their athletics.
Right.
And
ahead.
size factors in.
Size does factor in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, effectively you get advantage because he's a size larger.
It says your creatures one size larger don't auto-succeed on checks to escape grapple, but that has nothing to do with grappling.
Yeah, when you make a check to escape a grapple, size large creatures auto-succeed.
Right, but he'd still have to roll instead. Okay, that's understandable. All right, well, Ola's just going to flat out just run straight up and try to turn his head into a paste on the ground, because I'm assuming he's lying there with his head on the ground. He's just going to overhead swing, pow, or attempt to.
Make an attack roll with advantage.
Right. Advantage, attack roll, +6 to hit. 15, so 9 + 6.
That is a hit.
Okay, and his attack is roll 1d10 +4. Does he get anything for it being an advantage attack, or is that just really only rogues?
It's just normal damage. No.
Haha, max 14.
Okay. He runs up, and with a massive swing, there is a crunch as the giant's nose breaks.
Oh. Are you happy now?
Ola is. Whoa, where did Grog get you?
Okay, that makes it the giant. The giant is going to stand up.
Sure. With a nose like
As
that,
you'd expect.
I don't think he's going to be doing anything. You're like,
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Blood streak his nose, and he's going to make a multi-attack. So, good time. 1 against Ola. That's a 26.
armor class is 13, so.
Yeah.
Giants hit like a giant.
Is
Just
it bad that I kind of hope that
22
damage?
points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. He's down to 10 HP then.
Okay. And Morris.
AC of 17? Wait, no. Parry may use reaction to add +2 to AC against an attack, potentially causing the attack to miss. Oh no. Okay, I don't know how that works, but sure.
19,
You use
effectively.
Add your proficiency modifier, which is +2 on him.
Does it? But just like, there's no reason for him not to do that.
Well, if you've got multiple enemies, you might be like, I'm not going to parry this, I'm going to parry a different one. You've got
Okay,
one enemy.
but you only get one per turn. So okay, then yeah, he's going to use that.
Okay. Doesn't
So
matter, though.
Or
I
seven.
crit failed.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Crit
yeah,
fail. Excellent.
So his
Clumsiest giant ever.
club smashes into the ground and actually lodges in some of the softer turf.
We can't kill him. He's like a children's book.
Master and Blaster. Where's
Clumsiest
Master, though?
Giant ever.
Okay, civilians are going to.
Run away!
Aw.
Actually, that's what I
and
should have
cling
done.
to the carts because they're the only real feature here, and there's nowhere really to go other than forwards or back. The old man loads his crossbow. Can't really keep it loaded for that long. He's going to move into melee range. And that's where he ends his go. He doesn't have an attack left.
They don't like it, Upham.
Excuse me?
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know what he just said.
I don't either.
Master Iridia fires his pistol crossbow. It sticks in, doing 4 points of damage, but is basically completely ignored by the huge giant in front of him, to which a pistol crossbow is more like throwing peas at someone. That would make it...
Sharp peas that go into your skin and hurt a lot.
Oh. It's more like a BB gun.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he was throwing peas.
Yeah, okay, maybe a BB gun. He's got a lot of health. Right, that makes it Morris.
Come on, Morris. Show us what you can do.
Oh, Morris, that's me.
Yes.
All right, hang on. Wait, no. All right, I'll swing my sword and hit him.
Fantastic, Morris. Blood to the
Very
point.
Good, more.
Good man.
Very, very good. Oh, I thought it was a 20.
Nope. 11.
Unfortunately, the attack goes slightly wide as the giant sort of backhands his blow away, frustrated about his club. Right, that makes it Bree.
I would like his attention, but I'm not quite sure the best way to do that.
Guys, remember that you have inspiration.
Oh, first off, I want to send the cat to kind of keep an eye, I guess, from behind us.
So you send the cat towards Avak. Well, Malthus.
To the back of the wagon.
Oh,
train.
the back where you came from. Okay.
Not
sure.
the back of combat, but keeping a lookout in case they decide to use this.
Take the opportunity, yeah. So bonus action, cat goes to the back.
Yeah. And then I guess I shall stick it with the pokey end.
Okay, you run forwards, and with your rapier, you begin to try to stab at the pokey end.
$24.
That would be a hit.
I successfully stab it with the pokey end.
Good.
Now, is the pokey end going to be a frozen pea? Or will it be a BB gun? Or will it maybe be a wasp sting?
Probably a wasp. 7 points.
Yeah, that
Okay,
definitely sounds like
so-
a wasp sting territory to me.
It's a pretty deep blow. I mean, it doesn't get particularly far in terms of the guy's anatomy. It's a giant, but it does get pretty deep in and draws blood as you retrieve the rapier from its chest. Right, that makes it Sarah.
All right. Whilst I try to figure out exactly what I'm doing with this weapon, I have to make sure I get 6 shots. Yeah, I do. Okay. Before I have to reload. So I only shot twice. And if I hit with 2 shots, then I actually get a 3rd shot, which is very, very cool. I have to keep that in mind. Then I have to reload. Okay. So she's finagling with it, like cursing her luck, like what's wrong with this, jammed or something, right? It's not firing properly. But we are gonna do that.
Can I just,
I'm gonna
while
keep
you're
that.
doing that, can I just confirm, with initiative, I have to make it clear that I intend to use my initiative before the result is known. Is that right?
Inspiration.
Inspiration. I apologize.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah's gonna make a couple attacks, and she's gonna say, "Let's see if this works." Oh, one of them did. That's a crit.
You rolled 2 at once.
I did, but yeah. So
Okay.
basically, it goes in order as it goes down. So like,
Okay, so you rolled a 4,
mhm,
which is a miss,
mhm.
and you rolled a 20, which is a crit hit. Can you roll damage with 2d6 plus 3 rather than just 1d6?
I could, but do I keep the value of the 7? Because that's
No.
what that one was going to.
You
No?
need to roll the dice one at a time and stop being so tricksy.
Yeah. No one on stream can see the 20s being rolled because it only rolls the last dice.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right, so I'm gonna roll 2d6 then. Yeah.
Plus 3.
Plus 3.
Because it was a crit.
There we go. That's not
Good
bad.
rolls. Very good rolls.
So one of the shots just pings off a rock nearby, and compensating for the obviously misaligned barrel, she aims at the giant's face, and there's a flash of light as the projectile spins forwards and impacts the giant in the neck, causing like copious amount of blood to streak out.
Mhm.
14 points of damage, not bad. Okay, that makes it Tulips.
All right. Tulips is gonna follow up with the same ranged attack idea, and I'm gonna use a bow, I suppose. Oh wait, you know what? No, vicious mockery. I think just because he hits so damn hard. If I can give
Good
him
idea.
disadvantage would be very big. So vicious mockery. I'm gonna say, where did you learn to breathe? How long did it take? So I'm gonna roll 1d4 vicious mockery. Bop. Oh, well, minimum damage. Save DC for the disadvantage is versus 13. Or he's going to be disadvantaged.
Did you roll a 1?
Did it? Nice.
Woo! Critical disadvantage.
He's like, wait a second, I'm not supposed to understand your language, and I did. And that hurt.
So what does that mean? What do you get when you crit fail a thing with vicious mockery? You're really, really offended? Like, I mean, deep down your ancestry has been offended on that level?
He's so offended, he cannot make any attacks next turn.
Whoa.
That is really... You've seriously deeply... I'm not even sure I approve of using that kind of insult. I mean, that's going too far,
Not just
man.
a 1, he's got a 0, because he's got -1 to wisdom.
There's a Brolo there in the chat says Giant starts crying.
Yeah.
The giant starts bawling. Giant.
The clumsiest giant. A story about falling to make friends.
Aww.
Oh.
And all the friends want to do is poke him with peas and say horrible things to him.
This means that we're the bullies, guys. He attacked first. This is wrong.
What? He threw rocks.
Technically, Melfast did not.
He was trying to play catch.
With a rock.
Yeah.
That makes...
Oh, he's a giant. They threw
Melfast.
catch.
Ah, damn it.
I mean, honestly, at this point, Melfast is starting to genuinely feel sorry for the guy.
I know, me too, actually. Weirdly enough.
He's just randomly bawling in the middle. It is like we're actually fighting someone with the mind of a child.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to go all Mad Max on this. I can't kill him. Like, no. You may have paid me to kill Blaster, but I refuse. I'll take the donkey. But, all right. Well, I'm assuming I get advantage at this point on the attacks.
He's standing up, he's in combat, yeah.
Okay, so advantage with my bow. Okay, that would be 17 plus 5, which is 22.
Which, of course, does your sneak damage.
Yes. I'm just adjusting the amount of arrows I've got left because I've given a chunk of them to Tulips. All right, so roll 3d6 plus 3. Low rolls. Not so good. 12, but...
Okay. The arrow sticks deep into the meat of one of his buttocks, and he yowls in pain.
Genuinely, I'm not actually aiming for his lower body. I mean, you know, I aimed for his crotch before, but now I just want to put him out of his misery. No one should have to live with the knowledge of that kind of insult.
Okay,
It's
Ola.
fun.
Belfast?
Yeah, I'm just considering. I was still thinking about his grapple, but no, I'm just going to go straight for a two-handed attack. So, plus 6 on an attack. Actually, does Ola get advantage on someone who's engaged with someone else? Is that a normal thing for people? Or is that...
No.
Because, again, I've only played the rogue, so...
Not unless you've, like, deliberately encircled them and whatever.
22, 16 plus 6.
That would be a hit. Ola can do damage.
D10 plus 4. Ola does 7.
Ola's club down on the giant's foot, and you can swear you can hear something crack.
Seriously, guys, we're actually now just... We're toying with him. This...
The giant is going to make a strength test to retrieve his club, which he, of course, succeeds, pulls the club out,
Of
brandishes
course,
it.
like he hasn't been rolling ones.
At least I retrieved the club instead of rolling a 1.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
That would
Genuinely,
be bad.
if we were being observed by someone right now, they would flat out think that we were just trying to purposefully hurt this thing rather than kill it. Stilgar would be very, very off-put by this. Yes, we're feeding a scorpion at our breast. This is not good.
Yep. But he roars in pain and frustration and pulls the club back out of the ground. Bits of dirt and gravel still clinging to the head. Bits of Ola's blood as well. Ola has several cracked ribs at this point. But yeah.
Ola
that
doesn't
makes
notice. Ola's full of adrenaline.
That is probably true. Zola. Civilians actually start to be sensible, and they start to actually they don't know what to do because they can move down the path, but that would mean going towards people chasing them. The ones at the front near the first...
Can I take a bonus action to yell at them?
You could. Bonus action wouldn't be very long. You'd be talking about 1 second's worth.
Didn't
of
you use
text.
your bonus action to send your cat run to the back of the...
Want to say, stay safe, stay out of reach. Or
Okay.
stay here, stay out of reach.
Make a charisma check.
Because they would be so dead.
Smash! Like Skittles.
Yeah,
Before a mighty club-shaped bowling ball.
Sorry, hang on.
20.
I like it.
They love me.
3 crits. Gets 20 plus whatever modifiers you have.
Love me.
They look to her and suddenly they see this singing, dancing, magically imbued, extra fast, extra deadly wizard elf running into combat with their aggressor, who is much taller than her, and she's an elf, so she's fairly thin of frame in addition to that. This giant is ridiculous compared to her, yet she's just dancing and stabbing with her rapier. The fact that she's taking this guy on and then turns around to yell at them, stay safe, stay out of reach. They all just like, yeah, okay. And they all just start going behind the carts on the opposite side, the ones that are beyond the reach of the giant and have seen Malphas and up ahead before Malphas just disappeared, start trekking off in that direction,
Okay.
knowing that they aren't being chased from there. The people at the back end don't start running off. A couple of minutes thinking about running off past the cat. Instead, they don't. They just stay still.
The cat glares at them.
Bree just instills them with confidence. The old man, who was running to combat and now has a loaded crossbow, actually has the ability to fire the crossbow in close combat without getting disadvantage.
I told you guys I should have been a bard.
Hits. It's a light crossbow, right?
No, it was just a crossbow. Not light. You didn't tell me it was a light crossbow.
Yeah. Well, call crossbows, unless it says light crossbows.
Okay.
At least in my view. And he does 6 points of damage as the arrow slams into the giant's abdomen from below.
How, like, because you can usually tell if someone's starting to be worn down by battle. How worn down is this giant looking?
He's getting worn down. He's not on the verge of keeling over, but he's severely getting injured from what he was at. He's not on the verge of falling over, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Sorry, someone just said that every time that someone donates to charity, the chance of rolling a natural 20 increases.
I wish that were true, but it's not. It really isn't.
Master Rydia is going to fire his other pistol crossbow and misses. Flies up onto a stone. That would make it back at the top of the round. Morris.
Because poor, dumb
Oh, that's
giant crying didn't do anything this time. To everyone, it just appears that he's just sad that everyone's so mean to him all the time.
It's going to try and hit it again.
His mother
Do it.
warned him
Okay,
not to try and
yeah.
make friends with the small folk. But he was just full of joy and love, and he wanted to share it with everyone.
16.
That's a hit.
You're all horrible people.
Oh.
3
Points, yeah.
3 points of damage as he jabs at the halberd. The giant kind of manages to step to the side, and the halberd sort of just gently cuts past his thigh.
Let him believe it's a halberd if he wants to. It's okay.
Oh, longsword. Sorry. He initially had a halberd in one of my earlier revisions of the rules, but then I noticed that I actually said he had a longsword in the last episode.
Okay.
Sorry. Completely blanked. Right, that makes it 3.
Oh boy.
And debris.
I would like to stick it with the pokey end again.
Bully Bree, more like.
Do the hokey pokey.
No,
not
I'm
imagine-
trying to do a bloodletting. He looks sick.
Oh, I see. Trying to bleed out the demons. I
Yes,
approve.
clearly.
That's where tieflings come from, you
They
know.
can come out and join our party since we're surrounded by demons. Aww.
We're not delivered by stalks or found in cabbage patches. We actually come out when people cut bad people and the demons all bleed out. And they just turn into tieflings. It's fantastic. Tiny little
Every time
tieflings.
you roll a 20, a new demon is cut out.
Well, let's find another one.
Fantastic. Close.
What's that? I
19
can't
this
see
time.
it.
17.
Still a hit.
Really, you can't? How?
I don't know how you can't see it. 'Cause...
It's because I've had to crop because it's a widescreen going onto my 4:3 ratios.
Okay.
Yeah,
everyone
actually, probably the people on my screen can't see it either.
Okay,
thinking
well,
about it.
you
I'll-
guys have to tell me, so because I can move it.
No.
Okay, so that's a hit.
All right.
Sorry, it's just I hadn't actually checked because I'm not looking at my
See,
OBS.
I don't watch the video thing. I actually watch OBS.
6 points.
6 points of damage. Okay, so you managed to jab along into its calf muscle, fairly deep. The giant rolls in pain again. It just seems to be the giant's way tonight.
It's actually trying to communicate. He's saying, "Stop! I want to be friends."
I just wanted a hug. Don't you like playing catch? Right, that makes it.
Wanted to pet the
Sarah.
kitty.
Tulips, I think that's you.
What'd you say, Sarah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
distracting you with giant speak.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So Sarah still has 2 shots left, and I will roll them one at a time. So that's good. So we're gonna roll 1d20 plus 5, and also, well, that's not how you do the syntax. And then roll 1d6 plus 3. First attack.
That's a 14 to hit, which is a hit. So
Nice.
one of the bullets. We don't have a name for bullet. One of the
Bullet.
shot slams. Well,
Actually,
bullet derived from,
Bullet
uh,
still works from a slingshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullets work. Yeah.
Was it called a bullet in a slingshot?
Projectile. You want to call it a projectile?
No, it's a bullet.
It's called a bullet.
And I remember this from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
You
it's a
have a
bullet.
slingshot that fired
a
either
bullet.
stones or bullets.
Whichever way the derivation goes. Anyway, we're going to call it bullet. So the bullet slams into the giant, doing 5 points of damage. And the second one?
Oh. Is going to miss, probably.
It's 15. No, it's a hit.
That slams in, doing 7 points of damage.
Oh, sorry. I was looking-
Shots
For
catching it.
everyone who's watching on my stream, you don't get to see the multiple rolls. So when Tulips is rolling, he's actually got a macro that rolls first to hit, and then the damage straight away. And he just takes the damage if the hit worked. But just so you know.
See, that time, I actually saw the D20.
Yeah, I
not
saw the
D6.
D20, not the D6. Yeah.
That's weird.
Remind me to send you guys the add-on that Bloody Albatross made for me.
Yes,
The
thank you.
Chrome add-on.
What does that do?
It makes all of the dice rolls look nice and neat and tidy. Open my stream and look.
I can't.
I'm
It would
looking
involve-
now.
Opening
you
a stream on stream degrades my quality. But anyway, that makes it Tulips.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think I've insulted him enough.
Yeah, no more insults, dude. That's just not on.
I mean, I really
Gosh.
messed him up.
People are using hashtag stop giant bullying.
Yeah.
It's rough.
So I'm going to. I'll just shoot him. I think I'll just shoot him with my bow. Longbow.
First you hurt him with your words, and now you're going to hurt him with your long.
Although.
Crit
how-
fail.
Oh no! It looks like it's on edge. It looks like a 7 here. Like, come on! What is that nonsense?
Melfast rolls a 1.
Melfast does not roll a 1. I know Melfast
Sorry,
usually does,
Tulips.
but no.
And I'm like, that's Melfast's domain. Tulips rolls a 1. And the Struny's longbow, bing, breaks.
Ah,
Breaks? No!
A new string. To be
You
fair,
have-
strings are fairly dime a dozen.
Yeah.
I mean, they aren't literally dime a dozen. but
Also,
they're
you have
there.
not been taking care of your longbow, my friend. You have not been oiling that string. You've not. Yeah.
But I don't.
Disgusting.
There, when you found the
I have
longbow,
oil on my drumskins.
you found the longbow on the wall of a house that was being used as a display longbow.
Right. Okay. That's fair enough. It broke finally.
Yeah. Right, so that makes it Belfast.
Okay, well, I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm going to shoot with advantage. Ciao. Advantage. 17, so 22, which is a hit. And once again, the 3d6 plus 3. Pew pew. Oh, slightly better this time. 15, sorry. That's 6, 3, 3, and my bonus of 3. Is that good? What?
How would you like him to die?
Oh.
Okay,
On the
well.
bright side, he won't be crying anymore.
Melfast is just... How far away is he? He's about 60 feet. I would say that our poor giant friend has been bullied far too much at this point. Melfast, he can't witness this kind of cruelty. Even his stony heart is moved to mercy. So he goes down on a knee, takes very careful aim. He's aiming for the heart that has been so badly abused by his companions. Tormented. This puppy of a giant. Loved life. His mother only saw him like a few hours ago. Sent him out to play. He's probably just a child giant.
Clumsy giant.
He shoots him for the heart. Aims straight for the heart. Just going to try and go in under the arm, because he's probably swinging his club. Just aims for the vulnerable spot, just to plonk it straight through his ribs and into his heart. Actually, on the other side, where his heart is.
Okay, so the giant lifts his club. He's about to smash it down on one of the wagons nearby. Frustrated, at least their solid targets aren't moving. As he does this, the arrow just disappears into him. The underarm, very thin skin, easy target, goes straight for his hide and just disappears into his chest. And there's just a drops his club and just topples off the side of the road down the slope and slides slowly away from the caravan.
There is absolutely no reason I should be feeling bad for this damn thing, but I am.
Because it's a really tough giant, and you just killed it with it only needing to land one attack because it rolled so many crit fails. And no one died.
I needed to kill at least 3 people, so I feel justified.
As it's tumbling down the cliff, sliding away, Malfoy just kind of peers over and says, "Sleep well, giant man. Dream the dream of eternity."
Raylana comes up and goes, "I almost feel bad for him."
I know, right?
Slides down, hits a couple of boulders, flips over.
Almost.
After a few seconds, Malfast then says, "Balls! I'm not climbing down there to search his body."
Why is this not?
The giant comes to rest on the turn below on the path, some 150 meters below, probably. You can vaguely make up the shape, but he does end up blocking the path because of his huge body.
That's
Behind us or in front of us?
behind
you.
Behind us.
You're still going up.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Someone in my chat, why do I feel so sad for an imaginary giant?
I feel very bad because I'm the person who made him cry.
Yeah, you should feel bad, you scoundrel.
Giant.
It's an evil giant.
No.
But I made him cry.
He just wanted to play.
evil manner.
People are hoping he's evil so that they don't realize that they just slew a beautiful, individual, unique snowflake that just wanted to pet the kitty with a giant rock, albeit, but He just saw the cat and he was overcome by joy, dropped the rock that he was playing catch with, rolled down the hill, smacked one of the cars. He was so relieved that it didn't hurt anyone that he jumped in ecstasy and just slid down because he's so clumsy, childlike. And the cat ran away and everyone started poking him. Then he got shot in the heart and then fell down after someone said something so mean and terrible that he just couldn't regain his balance afterwards.
It's a tragedy, really.
Oh. Briar, you monster.
I know.
He was shot through the heart, and you're to blame.
You give
Give
love.
Keeplings a bad name.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Anyway, after the civilians managed to compose themselves, realizing that other than Olaf, no one was injured, and Olaf, he's a little bit staggering as he moves. He's just trying to not put weight on one side of his torso, where he took a pretty bruising impact. In fact, you probably suspect that he's got broken ribs. He doesn't let on that he's injured other than that.
Okay.
Iridia runs up to you guys as you congregate to just watch him slide down the mountain. Iridia comes up and goes, "Thank you."
Immediately, Malphas, without even looking back from just peering down at this giant, almost solemnly, like he's kind of paying respects, just kind of murmurs, "Killing giants is extra."
Nice.
Oh dear.
How much money you got? No, sorry.
He doesn't have much to say other than the fact that goes, "That 50 gold extra I offered you each?"
At this point, I'm gonna send the cat to poke around the edges of the a little bit further back than we otherwise might have. See if it sees anything else.
Okay. Does the cat have night vision, dark vision of any kind?
It's a cat. I'm going to go with yes, because it's a fey cat, and the fey ability of its elves' dark vision, if I'm not mistaken, is listed as fey ancestry, but that is legitimately the logic.
It'll be limited to something like 60 feet or something. So make a perception check at disadvantage because
also I didn't realize it was night.
Pardon?
I didn't realize it was night.
Oh yeah, it's still middle of the night. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I don't think I should do that.
Oh, okay. So you don't send the cat back.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Okay.
Sorry, for some reason I thought the giant was doing this during the day.
No.
My bad. I assumed, and I shouldn't have. But now I know to look up what
Cat stats.
familiar can do. Yeah. Because it's not a regular cat, so we can't just look up cat.
I think the avatar
So anyway.
is basically a cat for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, because I was looking at that spell for one of mine, and it is literally, it's just in the back, it's in the appendix, it's just a cat or a bat, and it has the same stats as the regular creature, just that it's telepathically linked to you.
Cat or a bat, and it has the same stat.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the caravan begins to get underway again, and it moves up maybe another 2 twists and turns over the course of about an hour. Ola decides to lay back and take a long rest. Actually, no, he can take a short rest and use his hit die. Yay! Hit die! Finally getting a use.
You just wait until it becomes a Cheshire.
Did you roll a
cat.
1?
I rolled like the minimum I could on several of the dice. He's back to full health, but he's out of hit die. So
Hit die
you
die?
go up another 2 twists and turns. Everyone make perception checks.
Okay.
Jar of endless pretzels. No, seriously, this thing is huge.
I
It's
rolled a
like,
12.
Hello, it is literally bigger than my head.
Eagle eyes over there.
Feeling good. I see
This
everything.
is a good session for natural 20s and crit fails.
Well, not so good for the giant, but yeah.
No.
Perception, that's like a 12.
Okay, so I've got 12, a 12, and a 23.
Yeah.
Bree and Melfas, you don't really see anything, but you do notice that there's like a vaguely slight haze that seems to be some sort of light reflecting off the low-hanging mist around this area.
Okay.
Over the side of a gully between where you are and the next sort of outcrop of this mountain. Tulips, you notice that past the gully, there is what appears to be flickering light, and you would assume this is sort of the embers, the dying down bits of a campfire. You would suspect from the way it's casting some shadows that it's in a sort of half-hidden cave, and it's a cave that you would suspect from the shadows is probably about giant size. You managed to make out that this campfire is probably on its way out, running out of fuel, just not being tended to.
Okay.
Excellent loot.
Pretty
let's
much.
loot.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming you've passed this information on.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Fire in the
How far away is it? Roughly, would you say?
Roughly 120 meters.
It's not very far then.
Not far at all.
Would you like to stealth and go on ahead, or would you like?
Yeah, I can have a look. I mean, you're welcome to join me if you'd like to use your invisibility on yourself.
I'm bored again. I think I shall.
Yes. Right, well, I'll roll for stealth. Are we at night still?
Yep.
Out of curiosity. Cool.
I think I'll
I rolled a 22. That's 15 plus 7.
wow.
One with shadow.
Do you need me to if I'm invisible?
If you guys are heading up, I will follow behind you from a distance.
Okay.
Did you hear Anna's query?
Sorry, what was the query?
I was just going to take it as a no. I asked if you needed me to roll stealth if I'm going invisible.
You do, but you get advantage.
Okay.
Do not screw it up. Yeah.
Crit.
So, Brianna just...
I'm just going to let those two rolls linger.
Nice.
Okay, I'm sorry.
basically becomes invisible, and suddenly you can't even hear her. You don't even know where she is unless she talks to you. You have no idea. And Melthas, you're pretty good at stealth. But you're even impressed about Brialana's stealth right now. And so you make your way carefully over this gully, which is filled with scree and miscellaneous chippings of rock and so on that seem to have fallen down here over the time.
Please don't tell me I find any sort of like clumsy childlike cave paintings, because that will actually destroy my heart. Please don't. Even if that's what you plan to say, don't do it anymore.
Okay, let me just edit it. One hug.
Oh no.
We'll trade hug for food. Yeah, make acrobatics checks or athletics checks for your climbing over the gully.
Okay.
Do it.
I have got a 17. That's a 12 plus 5 for my acrobatics.
Okay. So that's a 17 for Melthas.
Ow. 8.
8 for Brialana.
But that 20.
You were really stealthy until you tried to cross the gully. Then all we hear is boom, boom, boom. It's like that Homer scene when he falls down the crevasse.
Tulips, you got a natural 20.
Me?
When?
Well, who got that?
I didn't roll for anything.
Roll.
Oh, roll for the gully thing?
No. When you were following, you rolled a d20 plus 3 at some point. What was that for?
Me? When? Rolling a d...
Look.
Why is that there?
Okay, well,
That was
just ignore it. Oh, that was perception, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's my perception. Yes. Okay. All right. So I am rolling for what now?
Acrobatics or athletics?
Acrobatics. I'll go for acrobatics. Absolutely. Yay!
Okay, so Bree begins to lose her footing at one stage. However, she does manage to scramble back around. Unfortunately, it does take her a little bit longer. She does lose a bit of height and has to sort of try and figure a way back up. But you do manage to make it over there. However, it does take you about 10 minutes rather than maybe the 5 to 6 or 7 you'd suspect it would take to actually just cross this narrow gully. All in all, it takes you about 15 minutes to get to this cave. And as you look inside the cave, you notice it's completely empty of any dangerous giants. There are no other giants in there, but it is very obvious this is somewhere that a giant has been camping out. There are some piled furs. In the corner, there's some random miscellaneous bric-a-brac that the giant would generally keep because they're interesting.
Right.
And you also notice that around a small bag, there are clumped, matted bits of fur and blood and some shattered bits of bone.
Okay.
Okay. Can I
You also
have
notice
a...
on the side of the cave random daubs. You can't even read them. No one here speaks giant, right?
No, I don't.
Just double
know
check.
who does.
Not anymore.
Using what looks to be dried blood from a matted chunk of fur, some random daubs have been written on the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll prestidigitate it onto a piece of parchment.
I was just thinking, what was it? Like if he killed like a mountain cat, nice kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur.
Tasty
Aw.
kitty.
Tasty kitty.
Nom, nom, nom. Right, so you walk inside. To be fair, it's a cave. Your investigation, you're going to find everything in there.
Okay.
What you manage to find is, other than the boring stuff like bits of fur, bits of bone, you manage to find what looks like a piece of wood that was being worked on to make a giant club out of. It's not particularly portable for any of you, so we're going to skip right past that. You could use a bench if you want. You do, however, find a bag, which is just sitting there. Might be useful for holding things. You find...
I'm assuming
what
Bree is ritual casting detect magic.
But my mouth was full.
Okay, so 10 minutes later, wing. That magic is magical.
That
So
magic is
bag?
magical.
The bag
Fantastic.
is magical. God damn it, the bag is magical.
I'm shocked.
The
I
magic is
know.
magic.
Especially considering he said, it's a bag. It might be useful for holding things.
Can I roll Arcana?
Sure.
Just get a vague idea.
Is it a bag of holding? Please be a bag of holding.
You don't need it. You've got a quiver of holding.
If it is, I want it.
It doesn't matter. It's amazing. I love it. You got it. It's a bag of holding.
22.
It's a bag which there's some sort of vague magic on it that you think might be related to pocket dimension, but there's also some magic on it that appears to be something to do with creation.
Ooh.
You're not sure.
Ooh.
Wait, put something in, get you out?
Probably not. No.
1 gold coin. 2 gold coins.
Otherwise,
2 gold
we
coins.
right.
4 gold coins. 4 gold coins.
Hands.
8 gold coins.
Two hands.
16,
Um,
32, 64, 128, 256. Sorry.
what else?
1 Malthus in. 2 Malthuses out.
You also see a instrument. It's called a bandor.
okay.
Bandor. Like precursor to sort of your guitars, etc. It has 7 pairs of strings. And 2 of the strings on it are currently snapped. It looked like maybe the giant tried to play it or
Is it
hit
magical?
something with it. That is magical as well.
Okay.
In addition, you find some rusted longswords that look like they've been maybe used as toothpicks because of the weird gunk that's on the end.
But they're not magic.
They're not magical. And you also find a couple of bits and bobs that are made of precious metals and maybe encrusted with gems and stuff. And generally, the giant just thought, well, ooh, shiny. And those are worth 80 gold pieces.
What were they again?
It's things like small statuettes
Oh, okay.
and a couple of small ingots and stuff that the giant just went, ooh, shiny.
80 gold pieces worth of shiny.
How heavy?
Not particularly heavy.
Okay, that's fine.
I'd like to study this bag further, if that's all right with both of you.
Can I have a quick look at it?
Absolutely.
Right, I'm going to roll Arcana on it. You've already rolled Arcana. Would Bree have mentioned anything that she'd found on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So based on that, Malphas is going to look into it, and try and focus on what Bree mentioned.
Incidentally, I didn't write down anything about the instrument. I just tuned it out after. So I should probably take a look at that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to roll an Arcana check on that. I get it's just a 20.
It's just a 20.
Well, I mean 16 plus 4. So
Yeah, 16 plus 4. You look at it, it's a bag. It's got something to do with maybe some sort of dimensional thing involved, but you're not certain.
Yeah, it's more or less
certainly complicated enchantment on it.
Okay.
Can I take a look at the instrument? Would
Sure.
that be a separate roll, or?
Yeah, you need to roll count of the instrument as well.
Should I help you with that? I could assist you, or I could roll myself afterwards.
About half an hour, maybe a bit more's gone by.
Oh, no, we don't want to do this here.
No, we kind of want to leave. Was there anything else?
No, we can save that for later at the camp.
Was there anything else we wanted to look into? Was there anything else here? That is.
No, and I mean, if it was going to take longer, than me standing there going, "Oh, this appears to be this thing," then I'd have waited till we were back with the wagons. Sorry.
That's fine. Honestly, I thought it was a bit more.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just kind of dove right in.
To properly study something, generally, if we're going for a study rather than just a quick description, that will take a few minutes.
Later.
Okay. So, by the way, does anyone just put their hand in the bag? Just
No.
because there's
I could do it. Sure.
No. No, I'm
To be
not
fair,
letting you put a hand in a
so
bag
fast.
that goes to an extra dimensional space.
You don't know
No.
what you're going to pull back. It might not hurt your hand, but you might pull something else out of it that will hurt everything else.
But I'm
No.
a tiefling. This is
Don't
is
care.
part of
No.
this.
No.
Do not put your hand in the dimensional bag.
Just do it anyway.
Oh, it looks like he's doing it.
Okay.
Well, who's
Tulip.
got the bag? It's either you or I, Malthus.
Oh,
Somebody's gotta
We
stop
both
me.
got decent dexes. I am
gonna have to
not
stop
letting
me.
you put a hand in the bag.
well, I got the bag, I guess, since I was the last one to look at it, and I kind of agree with the Briolana on this, that it's probably not the wise thing to just stick your hand in a bag, so okay.
But would you tear it away from him and try and stop him?
I
won't fight you for it, but I'm
are you just going to try and
I am
sneak your hand in there? I mean,
curious with it.
what am I rolling? Like a dex save or something? 'Cause
Let me put it
if
this
you really
way.
want to do it,
If something goes even slightly wrong, we do not have time right now to deal with it. We
Yeah.
do back at the cots.
But I can restore myself. if
I'm
I
just
was-
going to assume that you have tried
Let's
to put your hand in the
get a move
bag.
on.
So what do I need to roll to try and stop that, and what does he need to roll to try and do it?
I would assume you'd have disadvantage because he's a friend and he would have taken you by surprise because
Okay.
you're currently looking at it.
Right.
So it would be something like Dex at disadvantage.
All right.
Anna, open the bag and shout in Infernal. Is anyone in there?
I got 17, Dex.
Make a
Uh,
sleight of hand check
Me?
at advantage.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand. All right.
You got to get more than
where's that?
17.
Doesn't even say sleight. Okay, there it is. +3. So at a disadvantage, you say?
Advantage.
Oh, advantage.
right.
So +3. Okay. Oh.
Yes.
So
Nope. Whoop,
Tulip's-
whoop, 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 whoop. No.
What's inside of it? What's inside of it? I
We
want to know
will
what's
find
inside.
out when there's lots of civilians around that we can distract whatever might crawl out of it by getting it
Tulips,
to eat
as you
them.
try to do this, you don't get your hand fully in, but you do manage to brush
Oh,
something in there.
balls, all right.
Something furry and warm.
Get it out!
What-
Something is dying inside. It's an extra dimensional space, which means it can't breathe.
Are you?
No, leave it in. Leave it in. Sorry.
What do you actually say?
There's something inside of there. It's seems to be alive.
Okay, that's all I need to hear. To not open it. And I seal it, draw purse strings, whatever. I toss the bag over to Briolana. Keep that safe,
Excellent.
and let's go.
Tuck it away. Gone.
What if it's a name?
Let's go. Grab your instrument, whatever it was. Let's go. We'll look at it later.
All right. Fine.
Everyone in chat is saying it's squishy.
Aww.
If
Oh,
Squishy
Squishy.
suffocates, it's Bree's fault. I'm just putting that out there. Blame Bree. Hashtag.
I'll take that on my head.
Okay.
You pull out a suffocated blue badger.
That sounds like a euphemism if I've ever heard one.
Oh my god.
Okay, so going back across the scree, now knowing your way, being able to work together as a team, you manage to find your way across in a little bit of a quicker time. However, as you get back to the carts, who have sort of slowed down to just do the necessary repairs and make sure that people are well rested and change people around, you notice a lot of them pointing as you come back over, waving in the distance, and you can see what look like lights coming up the path behind, very close on the tail of the carts themselves, almost upon you.
Damn it,
You
we've
took
taken
quite
too
a
long.
time,
Oh, the dogs.
and
Okay.
that is where we end.
All right.
Holy crap.
I know.
That's where we're ending? Not. This will only take a couple minutes.
Well played.
It won't.
Okay.
Because you do 1.5 times XP boost and allowed you to get 2,000 XP. So
Things are gonna get
Well
kinda tricky,
done.
I suppose.
Good job. Good call. I approve.
Yep. Good.
As
Wait,
much
wait.
as I want to keep playing,
What?
I think
What
that's the right
happened?
call.
Why is the call being made? I don't understand. All I
Because
heard
of
was...
very big combat coming in.
Because we're about to get into a battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going
Well,
to take longer than half an hour.
Did you hear the dogs that in the background? Oh man, I heard it.
All I heard was the soft, subtle, alluring chinkle of EXP with the 1.5 times modifier.
Hey, I can play
well, we
late.
didn't make it 1.5
Are
times
you
modified
kidding?
today.
My fiance is gone for a week. I can play as late as we want tonight.
Brightstone, how late can you play?
No, I can't. I can't go too long. No, I'm sorry.
Briar. This
But
is
how
why.
late
This
is
is
too
why.
late?
This is why you don't get to stick your hand in random bags. It's because you keep letting us down like this, dude.
Well, next time.
If you want to stick your hand in the bag very quickly,
No. Okay.
No.
It could only
Stick
be
your
good.
hand into the bag of this combat. Stay late, Briarstone. Like every other week.
Oh my god.
Is this going to become a hashtag blame Briar moment?
Probably. Everybody's gonna blame me now.
hey, he was the one who tried to save Squishy from the bag.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Needs to be done. Needs to be done.
Blame Briar for not being more
If it's-
assertive.
If it's a bag of badger summoning, I will laugh.
It would be amazing. Oh wait, no, weasels.
There's
Weasels.
badgers everywhere.
Weasels. They bite you, and if they latch on, then they do 1d4 con damage per round.
Badger, magic missile.
Badger, 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 missile, missile. It's a snake! Staff of Python.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. We'll be back next week. And then the week after, we're taking a break. So yeah, if you have enjoyed, please go check out everyone involved. Thank you very much for joining us. So, yeah. Let's go through where people can catch everyone. Then we'll thank a load of people, and then we'll go through donations. So, Bree, Anna, where can people find you?
TheGeekFleet.com, because Twitch still doesn't have a name change policy.
They're going to keep bringing that up every week until they change it. Just force them to.
Yep, pretty much.
I somehow think that their stubbornness is going to roll higher than your persistence.
Yep.
Melfast, Avak, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube as Avak, the same on Twitch, but on Twitter it is Avak_ because reasons.
Okay. And Tulips, Briarstone.
You can find me on YouTube with Briar Stone, with a D at the end of it, Briar Stone. Otherwise, if you look for Briar Stone, you will not find me at all. Has to have a D at the end of it, Briar Stone on YouTube, so you're aware. Twitter, BriarStone_LP. Facebook with Briar Stone, again, such as YouTube. And, of course, on Twitch with Briar Stone. as it is now, just no D.
Because you just don't like simplicity. You've got a really, really, like a religious level opposition to simplicity. It's like, no, this goes against everything I stand for.
It would be very, very nice if I could have had it all to be the same, but there's like accounts that nobody ever uses with the name taken, and it's like, really?
Yeah, I have no idea what that's like.
Nobody uses this. Why is this?
Yes, there may have been a few choice Welsh curses spewed when I found out that I couldn't be Avak on Twitter. It's like, who on earth has the name Avak but me?
I know, right? Apparently, there's like, what is it? Not Stables, but like a real estate agency with something like Briarstone. I think they were using it for a while, but they don't use it anymore.
Alas. EE, where can we find you?
That's harsh.
Oh, thank you very much for asking. You can find me at youtube.com/Enter Elysium, twitch.com/Enter Elysium, twitch.com, twitter.com/Enter Elysium. Basically, Enter Elysium pretty much everywhere. Patreon.com/Enter Elysium. Like everywhere is patreon.com. Everyone is /Enter Elysium. God damn it, I am obviously too tired. But yeah, so I'm going to be recording a load of stuff in the new week to try and fill up the backlog because I'm going away for a week over Christmas. So all the work. But yeah, so thank you very much to everyone for watching tonight. We're going to go through donations in a second, but I want to also shout out thank you to everyone involved with helping make the show and everyone just watching in general.
All the moderators.
Yes, and all of the channels.
Tons of moderators.
A very thankless task. So
it's
yeah,
not thankless. I thank my moderators all the time. Maybe you don't thank yours.
People, you may, but the general populace.
The Dapperlings constantly thank the moderators in my chat because they're dapper. True facts. It's in the contract. Can't be a Dapperling unless you're dapper. There's a test and everything.
It's
Do you want a waistcoat? That is like one of the quintessential.
And a dapper hat
yeah,
too.
Thank you very much to Lizard Eat Flies for Wolfslayer's intro music, which will be getting with the proper intro music for Briolana soon, which she has done, and it sounds amazing. Thank you very much to Metasapia for doing the intro art as well, and also Tinmin for the amazing fan art that we've been completely banning over.
Amazing.
And I've been using as placeholders right now because it's so good. It's really good.
Thank you for Briar for, really, really quickly getting his intro text recorded and stuff like that. I mean, that's cheers, dude. You put a lot of effort into that, and we really do appreciate it.
Welcome to the Role4It after show.
Indeed.
It's coming. Next weekend. Sorry. That's later than I need it to be. Next Wednesday.
Yes. Also, thank you very much to Arumba and Tunas Carsanel for their participation. Although it has ended now for lots of reasons that are really sad, mostly just to do with time, really. But they shall forever be in our hearts.
Yeah.
Actually, inside them, causing problems is going to be horrible.
Their characters live on together, prancing happily through the woods.
Killing necromancers to and fro. Very jolly.
No, my headcanon had it that Miss Carsanel's Scarlet met with your Wolfslayer, and they just were like this double-team duo.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Arumba's off on his own. Aramel's off finding a necromancer.
Arumba basically switches class and becomes like a witch hunter, but for necromancers.
Sure, yeah.
Aramil basically becomes D&D's Van Helsing.
Yeah, basically.
Got an awesome hat and everything. Oh, it's brilliant. I think I have... Yes, we should.
Who wants to read them today?
Who has the stuff up in order to read them?
I'm looking for the link. The link is where?
tiny.cc /Role4It Doctors.
Ooh, there it is. Hang on. Let's see who can take the most time to get there.
I got it.
I have to. I'm not sure where I need to find it though. Where is it on that donors?
My chat just declared that the thing that's in the bag is actually all the characters that have left the show.
Oh.
Just curled up in the bag, snoozing like chibi versions of them, just curled up.
This is oddly Binding of Isaac humor. This is definitely Binding of Isaac humor.
Elysium, how do I tell today's?
That is the face of a man who doesn't have an answer.
I remember last time. Oh. God damn it. I remember last time we had this issue as well. I think we have to try and remember who was last.
Well, then it's on you.
Well, I remember, what was it last
there's
week?
that-
Inuva definitely was last week.
Yeah. So at most, we are missing Metronomy for $15. Good session for the group. Hopefully, MSF has some volunteers in Illyria. I believe that one's from last week.
Yeah, that's from last week. I think that's the last one last week.
So Silane for $25 said, "It's sad that Ms. Carsonell and Roomba have to leave, and I will miss them, but thank you, all of you, for creating this amazing experience to watch and keep up the great work." Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lucas Horton for $10 says, "Sorry to see Ms. Carsonell and Roomba go. Hoping to see some new faces soon, though."
Thank you very much.
C. Turgeson for $5. "'Tis the season of giving." Anonymous for $330 with no message. Thank you very, very much.
Indeed, thank you very much.
Thank you very
all.
Thank you, Anonymous.
The Red One 7, $20. "I baked some biscuits and sold them at work. I didn't bake too much, and I've been busy, so didn't raise too much, but I matched the funds anyway. Every little helps. Thanks for the hours of entertainment you provide for this cause."
That
Thank you
is
very much, Red.
incredibly sweet.
Thank you. Oh, sweet biscuits.
But
So a little mini bake sale for fundraising. That's awesome. The Red One 7. Jed for $10. "Now that I've caught up with the series, I get to wake up at 6 a.m. for the street. Hooray!" Jed, I am so sorry. Really. Mighty Rick 1. What's that?
Sorry about the time zones. I hate time zones. You can never get it right.
No,
You can't.
no, because if it were up to me, we'd be doing it a little bit earlier than we do. So,
Yeah.
but
And then people in the Pacific Coast will be like hating it because they will be at work.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Mighty Rick 1, $20. "Scarlet and Squishy rode off into the sunset, trying to save a couple of dying civilians, almost like certain aid responders mentioned above."
oh,
Nice.
well
Well
played.
done, Mighty Rick.
Gnomes Without Borders.
Gnomes Without Borders. Yes.
Very worthy
Yes.
cause.
Adventures Without Borders.
Oh, I like it.
Kane 101 for $21. "Thanks for the awesome D&D entertainment, everyone. I was a bit late to the stream, but I'm so glad I could make it, and we are glad as well. Thank you."
Mm-hmm.
Tyrandian 89 for $20. "Here's a little support for the Aid for Inconsolable and Clumsy Giants Society." Yeah, no, it's not a good acronym. Okay.
We were bad to a
Dumb
giant.
Utilizador, $10. Hashtag stop giant bullying. Other than that, keep it up.
I feel like I was the only bully because I said mean words.
Yeah, you were.
F. Jill Krieger, and I know I'm brutalizing that name, and I apologize, has 2 in a row, one for $5 and then another for $6. No messages, and then Otaku Halo for $20 for 200%.
Thank you very much. The 2% gets us, gets the team a D10 inspiration dice, but because the session ended, you can have that at the start of the next session.
Nice. Okay.
So that should
And
help you in
that's
battle.
all I've got.
Um,
We didn't use any inspiration or anything today.
No, we didn't.
Slipping down.
you didn't really need it.
No, because we're awesome at bullying giants.
I know. We're awful. Just awful. Horrible people. Roll the credits.
But yeah, okay, so we're going to roll credits. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to go check us out on Twitter, you can see the Twitter handles on screen right now. You can also go follow Role4It at Role4It on Twitter, which should be able to provide you all the streams and stuff and posts about when Anna goes live with her pre-stream, and also all the retweets about the awesome fan art and all about giant bullying and how you can stop it in your local area. But thank you for coming along. Thank you for viewing. And until next time, stay shiny.
Take care. I would wave, but ferrets.
Ferret. Wave the ferret.
Wave.
Wave your lads.
It can do it. That works. That's adorable enough.
It's like unts. All right, bye guys.
Take care, everyone.
Bye. And I'm no longer streaming.
Yep, me either.
I still am because I haven't reached over to turn off. Tally, you're gonna have to go back. Oh.
Yes, I got it right. I guessed it was Tally.
Allie, my fiance, said, "OMG ferret!" Just texted me, "OMG ferret!" I guess she was watching.
Ferrets are great.
Yes,
Even
they
that
are.
a really unlikely coincidence.
Yeah. She just passed one in the stream.
right.
She was just commenting on it.
It's a Colorado ferret.
Take
They're
care, my
everywhere.
stream. Bye.